Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is the Tribunal, where we put pop culture on trial. And with me is Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark. How's it going, Tom? His mic is muted, and so is Random.
I'm doing fantastic, but I didn't get the announcement, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't get my own. I didn't get my own.
Sorry, I didn't mean to stop the intro there. I'm like, that's a bummer because I was like trying to get to the show so I can get to the chat, guys. Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm Tom from Midnight's Edge. I just fucked up the opening.
It's okay. It's all right. That's pretty normal around these parts. Let me get you the link, Tom. And hello, Mecha Random 42. How are you?
I am good. Yeah, I usually mute myself so I don't talk over everybody all the time.
It's good. It's all good.
That's part of my reasoning too, and I don't make noise.
The only thing that kind of concerns me right now is your mic is dropping out there, Tom. So
mine is?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm not close enough, or is it because it sounds
like the signal's dropping?
Yeah.
Okay, while you finish the intros with everybody else, I'll double check and make sure something isn't going on.
There you go. And I'm putting that link in there. Oh, and there's somebody else here. He's the judge. His Excellency, Overlord DVD, Dicktor Van Doomcock. Hello, my friend.
Hello, Gary, and welcome to the Tribunal. The Tribunal now is in session. Today, we are gathered at Nerdrotic Channel, and Gary Beekler is going to be our chief prosecutor for tonight. With me, as always, for the defense is Harvey Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's right. I'm defense in for this monkey court, this fucking kangaroo court, this sham that you guys are pretending to be impartial, but we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. So yeah, let the kangaroos begin hopping.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. And so I turn it over now to Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic Channel. Gary, you may begin to present your case.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and non-cisgendered binary people and robots, welcome. Today we are talking about the toxic media, and in particular, Russian bots. Now, I'd like to start off real quick. We're not going to be real political about this. We don't talk politics on our channel. This is completely about the content of pop culture and how pop culture media is presented to us these days, and maybe why people are starting to come to YouTube instead for an alternative. Now, this whole Russian bot, I read the paper today. This is the most research I've ever done for a video on my channel, which is like 2 hours. Okay, so, and I read the paper, what I could, and then I went to Mead's video on it, which was excellent. To break down where this guy was coming from, and it was completely impartial, and I marveled at why Gizmodo picked up this article again today, and how the legs this thing has behind it, and how the media is trying to push this out there. It basically is confirmation bias against us fans who simply don't like a movie, and that's it. And they're trying to pigeonhole us into some aspect to minimalize us, marginalize us, to use their own word. And I think it's an awful practice. It's also the media, in my opinion, it's the corporate media is behind this. This is a coordinated effort. And I will cite the example, Anas Abdin's lawsuit, which is big news to me about Star Trek Discovery, and the tardigrades and the similarities between that is not being reported anywhere. But this thing gets picked up by everybody. So that is part of my case. That is my opening argument. I have two assistants with me. I'd love to hear what they think. We could Random. Let's start with you.
Oh, this Russian bot thing is just such bullshit. Sorry for my language. I get really, really annoyed.
We're all adults.
No, they love to run with these stories. And they do zero research. They put the most clickbait title on there as possible. And I know we've discussed this at great length. I've made videos. Tom and I have talked about this on Midnight's Edge with the Wilk Report. All of these people have gone through and actually sifted through this first big Hollywood Reporter article and the study that they've referenced, and it's such an insignificant number. It's 1% of 1%. It is, he has non-scientific data, he has non-scientific, you know, methods that he uses. He's not even a scientist for his thesis. And when you boil it down to it, it was like 16 accounts that he suspected were probably bots and trolls. All of this crap just to kiss Rian Johnson's ass? Like, why? It's just to kind of turn the fans on each other, just to get clicks. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, by the way.
No. I really loved your angle of he was just trying to get in with Rian Johnson. I saw that tweet that you showed, and that was a great point. Like, hey, buddy, I live near you. Let's have some coffee and we'll go over my points. When I first read that, I'm like, this is kind of a troll job. And if it was, then I would give that guy a hug. But it wasn't, unfortunately. And I don't usually throw out hugs to dudes, but you know, bro hugs maybe. But that's I don't know. What's your take on this, Tom? Before I get to my next point, when I make it up.
Did Doomcock get his argument in first yet, or no?
Well, he's the judge. We need to hear from the prosecutors first, and then we need to hear from Harvey.
Sorry. Yes, Harvey. I forgot. He's the defending lawyer.
Yes.
I thank you for bringing up and plugging the Midnight's Edge video we did last night with Larry from the Wilk Report, where he did such a great job breaking down the numbers, the whole, what do you want to call it, formula or theory that this guy worked with, and what he felt that this actually proved. And with this, I will make a motion up front that there is a conspiracy here, Your Honor. And I think I can prove that.
Very good. Proceed.
And the conspiracy is, and it was already, Exhibit 1 was brought up by our lovely Mecca Random over here, when she brought up the tweet to Rian Johnson from said individual, boasting his finding or thesis or theory or experiment, whatever you want to call it, Your Honor. And in this, it seemed that he was trying to get said director's attention, of course, by asking him if he'd like to get coffee sometime. In which, in turn, however you want to say it, sir, Rian Johnson did, I believe, try to push said thesis, in quotations, as said evidence that it scientifically proves that there was Russian bots after him, and The Last Jedi was wrongly called a bad movie in so many words. Not to paraphrase or put words into said director for the court, Your Honor, but I do believe it is very, very, very important to point this out, because not only is this a case where under normal circumstances, Your Honor, that we would have just a hearing and a sentencing, but at this point, I think it's very, very, very evident that there's a conspiracy at hand. And this is something that we've never dealt with before. And I think we need to tread cautiously and figure out a very special type of sentence if we are to find the defendants guilty.
He's guilty.
Guilty.
Hang him.
Guilty.
Give him the chair.
Very well. So it's very interesting that this so-called PhD has made a thesis that Rian Johnson was a target of Russian bias, and then he invites Rian Johnson for coffee, like, Jerry Seinfeld and Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. So apparently there's some kind of attempt at securing favor, which would imply a certain amount of bias. And of course, biased science is bad science. Yes. So I would like to hear from the defense counsel. Harvey Cthulhu. Counselor, what do you say?
My lord, members of the tribunal, this is science. You know, I mean, this guy is not a LHD or a QHD. No, he's a PhD. And that means doctor in my book. And a doctor knows stuff. He's got to know stuff to get that PhD. So this guy is doing science. I looked at his report. It has numbers in it. A number of numbers. A number of numbers. I like that. A number of numbers. TM. That's mine. And you know, he's analyzed a certain number of social media interactions, a whole bunch of them. And you know, he used his science and test tubes and stuff, and he came up with the fact that he snooped out some Russian bots. Now, maybe you pinkos, being pink-skinned apelings, don't care about you know, bias or communist infiltration of your precious democracy, but I'm telling you that you know, it's like having a worm in an apple. You know, if you've got a bot in a scientific sample, it's all tainted. It's all pink. It's all commie. I move for dismissal right now.
I object on the grounds that the defense attorney is racist against ape-like pink humanoids.
Well, but since everyone in the thing, I mean, he's defending the notion that that the pink humanoids on trial are actually innocent.
Thank you for pointing out that gaping
I do
hole.
have a legitimate objection. I do have a legitimate objection, though, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
To the use of the defense attorney's term science, and I don't think he should be allowed to continue to refer to this study as science from here on out under the Exhibit B that I would like to admit, which would be the Midnight's Edge episode from last night, where Larry broke down the math in that this individual was not only biased, as you pointed out, Your Honor, in the earlier portion here just a moment ago, that he was also not proving what his point was trying to be. And not only that, the study did not prove what he thought it did. And I can also get into that, Your Honor. Otherwise, the audience and yourself can just, of course, check out Exhibit B when you get a chance. But I can also give a quick breakdown in that basically it does prove that there was actual people who didn't like the movie in the end. And like Mega had brought up earlier, that the fan base that was considered to be these said Russian bots were such a minuscule percentage, Your Honor, not matter, which under normal circumstances may call for a dismissal of the case altogether, being that it's just bullshit. But I believe that my conspiracy accusation is enough to continue proceedings forward at this juncture, unless you object or sustain, Your Honor, of course.
And you can't like rule out my calling it science. Isn't that really what's on trial?
Yes. Objection overruled. So you guys go ahead and discuss amongst yourselves the various. What do you think is like the conspiracy, Gary? What do you think is what the hell is going on with this? Is this part of a larger thing, or is it an isolated incident?
You know, I have before we get started on that, I have to thank some super chats. Let me get to the super chats real quick. We have Joe, $2, supporting Big Villains mentoring Little Evils, which is from the Venture Brothers. Thank you so much, Joe. Go Team Venture. Rolocat, £2. Something in Russian that says "Hail the Tribunal." It probably says "Hail the Tribunal" in Russian. We are cashing our ruble checks, by the way. Oh, sorry, shouldn't have said that. And Santo Dominus, $15 Canadian. How's it going, eh? To the mines of Rura Penth with this patak, with the patak. Thank you, Santo Dominus. And thank you for everybody giving us a super chat. We really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We will be getting to you, so please keep it coming. It is great. I've been trying to scan that a little bit. Okay, the larger conspiracy. And I am really pissed at myself because I actually own a tinfoil hat. I do own one,
Nice.
but I did not bring it for some reason. So the timing of this article is questionable at best. Okay. I did not see when the paper was written, and when I downloaded the paper today, I don't know if any of you guys downloaded the paper. Isn't it funny that it asked you if you were a bot or not? I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
And you have to answer yes now.
Yes, I tried, and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
The larger conspiracy is what you guys have talked about, what a lot of people have talked about, is the move with Kathleen Kennedy. It seems like every time they make a move with her, there is there's something to follow up. There's an Academy Award, or there's Russian bots, or there's, toxic fandom. This is like dipping into the well too much. This is why it's an obvious conspiracy to me, because we've already kind of been through this with the toxic fandom, with Kelly Marie Tran, exiting her social media because she had to, because it was part of her contractual agreement, allegedly, to go work on the next film. So, and they let the media fill in the blanks on that one. And it seems like it is a coordinated effort by Disney. It's circumstantial at this point, but I will still present it to the judge for his opinion, His Excellency. Thank you so much. I'll kiss your ass a little bit just to get the right.
I hear he likes scotch. I hear he likes Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker in a P.O. box. Can you send scotch to it? That's cool.
Yes.
Send scotch to the judge.
And this has been going on for a long time, and it's not just Disney. And as I pointed out before, as we have less companies controlling everything, we have less companies providing us content. We have less companies controlling the media, which means the truth gets filtered out even further. And I believe that, reading between the lines, this one is so obvious. I think it's kind of a slam dunk, to be honest with you. I think this was a diversion from Kathleen Kennedy's contract extension, something they being Disney did not want to do, but had to in the current environment. There's no way they could have fired a female executive.
Exactly.
It would have been bad for the stockholders. We're at the end of the quarter. I'll cite the example of when DC Entertainment got rid of their it wasn't a CEO, but I think it was like not a CFO. She was she was an entertainment associate or something. But when they fired her, what they did was they hired, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name now, the Gamergate girl, to write a comic book to kind of diffuse that from what the shitstorm they were about to get. And it worked. And it worked. So this has been happening for a long time. And, the reason they're losing control, they being the companies are losing control, is because they have people like us on YouTube for now. Anyway, I can even go further down this rabbit hole with Article 13 and their attempt to stop us. That might come later. But that as long-winded as that was, Your Honor.
Well, it seems to be a pattern. I mean, it really does. First of all, you've got Kathleen Kennedy winning a fucking award. Then you've got Kathleen Kennedy getting an article claiming that she saved Star Wars, which was beyond absurdity. Then they go ahead and say that she has had her contract extended. And when that stirs up all this other shit, then we come out with this handy dandy sponsored by Disney, probably, study citing that, Russian bots were behind all the kerfuffle, which will definitely play well with her, crowd of supporters and SJWs and whatever. So, it's just a constant barrage of bullshit. And it seems to me that this pattern is so calculated, so deliberate, that I would not hesitate to call it a conspiracy. But I'm open to contrary arguments. So, Mecha Random, what do you say?
Well, I don't have any contrary argument. I guess I do want to elaborate a little more on the Kelly Marie Tran thing, though. It's kind of the classic media sort of. It is how people see the headlines. Like they will see the headline and then believe it as fact without reading the article. And everybody with the Kelly Marie Tran story in particular, which is kind of related to all of this, they never went back to the original source material, which was one article that speculated Kelly Marie Tran was off social media. And they do the same thing like last night with the Doctor Who article, where, you know, like they misquoted Jodie Whittaker, and then they're trying to spin this kind of SJW agenda, and they keep doing this stuff with all of these articles. I kind of think it's there to just kind of for one thing, it's there for clickbait. For another thing, it's kind of there to kind of stir shit up and just like distract us from the real bigger issue that the movies are sucking, the TV shows are sucking, the fans aren't happy about it, and they're calling us toxic fans, and they're saying that we are one of the most toxic fandoms in history. And then they forget that, you know, yeah, but if you didn't have us as toxic fans, you wouldn't have a fucking job. You wouldn't have your millions. You wouldn't have your Oscars. You wouldn't have Kathleen Kennedy in a position of power. So you guys kind of need us. And it's kind of mind-blowing, really.
Yeah. Tom, what do you say?
I think that the fact that this is very calculated, just like every other move that has been made prior to this by Disney and others, not just Disney, but other Hollywood studios, when it comes to trying to blame the fans for a movie being bad, and especially in using a racial or a feministic or misogynistic type leaning towards it without getting too political, it really gets under my skin as well. And I think it supports my theory conspiracy here involved with the studio and people involved with the film, and said quote unquote PhD, who is obviously a fan and does need to be said, even though I cannot take away Harvey's right to say it's science, which, sir, I could actually argue so many things that it isn't.
Well, go ahead.
Because science actually, well, first of all, just the simplest. That's why I wanted to add Exhibit B, because it's such a long explanation, but it needs to all be said to prove that this guy basis for anything in his argument other than he wants to prove something that's possibly provable, but he didn't do it in a scientific way. Instead of getting a controlled group together and actually going through a lot more tweets, opening up the possibilities. And he did have, I will give him this, he did have a little bit of a scientific knowledge of how to seek out Russian bots or possibly Russian trolls. That I'm not going to take away from the guy. But even if he is to be taken at face value, the percentage that is given is the same percentage that would be a give or take percentage in any statistic. And to me, statistics are not necessarily scientific. So that's why I move to have the even audacity of an idea that this is scientific stricken from the record altogether. Because it's not.
Yeah, what's
For
your typical
science to happen, you have to have a controlled environment in which to comment. And to get, when it comes to mathematics, even better, because there's numbers involved. This guy did nothing of the sort to prove his math. He doesn't show his work. So it's like a fourth grade who keeps arguing with the teacher. You know, and this is only going to make sense to us older guys and gals, because these younger kids got their Google and their kids get to use their Chromebooks and all that stuff nowadays. But point being, you know, we would get accused of cheating because we didn't show our work. This guy did not show his work.
Exactly. Well, I was going to ask.
So I have a hard time believing. Exactly. Sorry, Mecca. But I was just saying,
no.
that shows me that there's no scientific basis for his argument whatsoever. Thank you, John T. Net.
Thank you, John T. Net. Yes, let me get to the super chats real quick now. But prior to the great John T. Net, we had the great Silhouetted Animator. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Russian bots or Lady Gaga fans? Oh, you just threw a monkey wrench in our argument, man. Maybe it was the Gaga fans. If you guys don't know what that's referring to, Venom, I guess the movie Venom is under attack by Lady Gaga fans. Rotten Tomatoes for some reason. Yes, because
there's tell me about those.
I think there's a competing movie or something. I don't know, but
yeah, Stars
I
Born
know
came
exactly
out
what's going on. Never mind. I know exactly what's going on.
Is it bad if I'm rooting for the Lady Gaga fans
Nope,
a little bit
you're
on
the
that
right
one?
side of this. There's people boycotting.
I want to be on the right side of history.
Nothing to. about people boycotting Venom. Trust me, I know people who have been telling me all about it behind the scenes.
We also have the great John T. Net,
Sorry.
Hong Kong, 800 freaking Hong Kong dollars. John T. Net, that is too much, John T. Net. You work hard for your money, and we do appreciate you. Can't send alcohol to a P.O. box due to archaic prohibition laws. Goddamn right.
I have a address for you, John T. Net. So don't worry. I finally have the address for you, and I will give it to you after the broadcast.
It's one.
And you just you tipped me off that it's alcohol. Ha ha! I'm excited.
It's 1 layer drive, center of the earth, zip code 0. There you go. I speak Russian up to 2nd grade level. That's higher than my English level, John T. Net. Perfect for such studies. OT, thoughts on what's WOT at Amazon? Wheel of Time. Thoughts of Wheel of Time on Amazon. Excited but worried about SJW. In words of Neil before the tribunal, or you will be knelt. Neil or knelt. I think Amazon will not. I don't think Amazon will do anything with Wheel of Time like that. I'm sure they'll mix up the casting a little bit. That's just my opinion. But the creative team in Amazon, if you just look at their past work, and it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
I don't understand how they're gonna make Wheel of Time SJW. I mean, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna put Pat Sajak at the wheel and Vanna White as the host? I don't understand what's going on, but I'm just a simple country lawyer. And, I don't really know how these things go, but hell, that violates the whole canon of the show that Pat Sajak is the guy with the cards and Vanna turns the little light squares. And, my sense of my reality is threatened if this is changed. Therefore, boycott Wheel of Time.
That's Wheel of Fortune, Harvey. But
never mind.
Is this the Blind Guardian song, Wheel of Time?
Yeah. No, Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. Amazon is taking over John T. Net, and I'm kind of happy about that. So
me too.
Yeah, Wheel of Time will be.
I knew he meant Wheel of Fortune, but I just wanted to see where he was going with it.
Well, I stand corrected. Fine.
Is this a
goddamn kangaroo court? The day I win an argument in here is the day that I'll invade. That's a very depressing thought.
Is that the deal you made?
That's a very depressing thought, because the whole idea was that I'm never going to win. So I take that back.
You might one of these days.
Fuck this. I'm gonna get in a dress. I'm gonna be Harriet. I'm gonna be like then all you guys making me shut up. Well, I'm not gonna shut up for no man.
How does one become an eldritch god with such a shitty attitude? I mean, really, such a defeatist attitude. Well, probably because it's hereditary. You didn't earn your way to the eldritch godhood. You were just born into it.
I'm just barred by Doomcock's field. I am fucking dangerous, man. Piss me. Don't piss me off.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because you kind of look like a cute green cuddly monster.
I am. I'm just really cute. Just let me out anytime.
Give me a hug.
Give me a hug. I'm like a kitty.
I like kitties.
Like a little kitty. Just give me a hug, and
Your Honor, I object to a change of counsel in the middle of the trial.
I think that Harvey or Harriet has the right to self-declare what their gender affiliation is.
That's right. I can change it back because that's a lady's prerogative to change your mind.
There we go.
That's right. So there you go.
There we go.
Lori,
go ahead, Gary.
Lori Roberts, $5 super chat. As a recent grad of the Cthulhu Law School, you are out of order, Tom, says Lori Roberts.
I am. How so?
You're out of order, and you're out of order.
I'm out of order.
Lori Roberts has a thing for Harvey Cthulhu. Lori is a loyal Cthulhuite. So there you go.
I think we all do. Of course, I did replace him with Audrey 2 today.
Really?
Check your Twitter.
I have on the back of my car, instead of the little Jesus fish, it's a Cthulhu.
Outstanding.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Where's my royalty? Ka-ching.
As soon as you get out, you'll get it. You know?
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sorry, my funds do not transfer dimensionally.
As soon as I get out, you'll get it, buddy.
If this is the tribunal, why is there 4 people? Math is math. You can't change math, says Joe.
Well, the
count
thing
them
is that there are 3 people, and there is
Actually-
1 robot, and then there is 1 eldritch god. So,
Well, not only that,
really
look up
there are
the
only 3 people. That
tribunal.
is
At no point in the definition does it say anything about 3 people. It just says a council of people. Because I believe that the base of the word tribunal is tribe, if I'm not mistaken. Did some research on that last week. So
that's
just so
good.
you know.
Well, thank you for the super chat, Joe. And there's also the voices in my head. So
Awesome.
they
Can I
count.
hear them too?
Yeah. Oh, you hear it. My personality changes in the middle of a sentence. It's just very subtle. It's very subtle. Yeah.
I want
All
that.
right. I want that. Well, yeah, it gets a little confusing in the morning, but and
Well, I can argue with myself then.
I was gonna make a bad joke there, and I just dialed that back.
No, please do. Please.
No. Mrs. Nerdrotic, if she's watching, she would not. No.
Oh,
Just
okay.
in case she's watching.
That I understand. Any more super chats out there?
That's it. We're wrapped up, so we can. I can.
Okay, Your Honor. Then do you object or sustain my motion at this time?
what was it?
The science thing. Have it stricken from the record. One more time. I made my argument.
Well, I think that it is definitely very piss poor science, and so it is so ordered not to be called science.
Call it something else, Harvey, okay?
Kangaroo court. Okay. Hey. Heyo. Bias. Pound me too. Yep. Yep. All us ladies, we always get shit on. Yep. That's how it goes. Okay. No, I see how it goes.
No,
Patriarchy.
You have
I'm
to
not
pay
saying
extra to do that,
anything.
I think.
I'm not
That's
saying
fine.
anything.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Resume.
Nope.
All right. So what else you got? So we're not gonna call it science. So all this entire conspiracy, what do they think that they're going to achieve from this shit?
I just suggest we call it bullshit from here on out. But that's
Yeah.
All right. That's
Well,
bullshit. What are they gonna achieve from it?
Thank you, Mary. I'm
they-
awesome. Thank you.
They're so real quick. One more super chat, folks. Wolverine fangirl, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Harvey. Push the button, TM.
Hey,
Oh,
what a wonderful day to push a button, TM. Thank you, TM.
thankfully,
You can't-
Harvey can't push it.
You can't trademark, thank you.
My law firm of Rabinowitz, and Yog-Sothoth disagrees.
I'll throw you a bone, Harvey. Add something to the thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome,
you, darling.
TM.
TM.
Well,
Thank
that
you.
works
You're
too.
welcome,
I say thank
TM. It just covers, shortens the conversation, helps you get down to brass tacks.
Now you can.
It's a bad lag, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
it's a
is
bad lag.
All right, I'll do my best to try and fix that again.
So-
It's the Russian bots trying to
I think so. They're
silence
after
him.
me.
Yeah,
They're after
Russian
me.
bots.
With okay, so what does Disney, what do the companies expect to get out of this? What is their end game? It's like with all propaganda, you just sow the seeds of doubt. If you sow the seeds of doubt, I give you, I can't pop it up. IO9 picked up this article today. Now IO9 is IO9. I fully expect them to pick up this article, but it's putting the seeds of doubt into the general public, the normies, as I like to call them, as I lovingly call them. The DJD show made a great point today that this thing is one step away from hitting the national media, and it could. I think if it keeps if it keeps going, I think it could. And if that happens, then all of a sudden it's just we're toxic fans. And they just want to paint us as toxic fans, and that way they can control the truth. They're trying very hard to do this, and it's dumbfounding that it works on so many people. Now, you know, The Last Jedi to me is a bad movie. If you like the movie, great. No problem. We have no problem. What this is about is the narrative of the media saying that if I don't like The Last Jedi, then I'm against diversity and all that other garbage. Which I would cite. All of us here are Star Trek fans. We're all Star Trek fans. If we hated diversity, will we be Star Trek fans? Will we be Expanse fans? Will we be Star Wars fans? No. So that's a bullshit argument. The study was ridiculous because it's such a minuscule amount of people that and to his own admission, like Tom just said, those were possibly bots. And how come is it just Russian bots? Now, I didn't get that far in the article, Tom, so maybe I missed something. Why is it Russian bots? I mean, there's bots everywhere. Where's the Chinese bots and the Lebanese bots and the Canadian bots? And
it's because it's trendy right now. It is the go-to sort of thing. It's like calling the fans man babies or toxic. It is the trendy current word of the day that the kind of masses who just read the headline can kind of pick up on and say, oh yeah, they're just toxic. Oh yeah, it's just Russian bots. No, because that's the same thing that happened with the reviews of Last Jedi. How many times was that blamed on Russian bots? It's the trendy buzzword, and that's kind of why I was trying to coin the term toxic media and toxic studios, because, you know, I understand how the buzzword game works. We can fight the buzzwords with the buzzwords. And it's really, really frustrating that so many people just pick up on that, and how many people I see on Twitter who just retweet that. And to elaborate on what you were saying a little bit about the mainstream media might be picking up on this, I already saw tweets go out from Collider. So, and they're like one step below actual real media. I think a lot of people, because they are, I hate to use the word shill, but they get perks, and it is in their best interest to give positive reviews. You get a lot of these really high level YouTube channels, websites, people like IGN, those type of sites, Nerdist. It is in their best interest to give positive reviews and to kind of go along with the narrative that these studios put out there and the spin that they put on these things. And yeah, we're like one step away from this being on CNN. And it's kind of terrifying to me that people think that this shit is real, because I think CNN and the New York Times and all these people ran with the Kelly Marie Tran article, and we all know how much bullshit that is. And this is kind of, this is why this one's kind of a big hotbed for me too, because that's kind of what I do every day is I pick apart these articles and I call them out for the bullshit that they are anymore. Right. That's kind of become my thing.
And this is these blanket statements that they put on us, and it's really fucking two-dimensional thinking to think that because I dislike something, I'm against diversity, or because, like Mako said there's some sexism in my Doctor Who arguments. I could not disagree more. You need to think about it, Mako. You need to think about what I've said in my argument, that I think the fact that they had to brand Jodie Whittaker with an established male brand because they didn't feel like they could give her a show on her own, I think that is sexist. I think now, if it's sexist to think that there is a difference between boys and girls and their tastes, well, then we can't argue, you know, because there is, and that's something we can all agree on. But aside, this is the bullshit.
What's wrong with being sexy, man?
Exactly. Is it sexiest? Okay, well then I'm
sexist.
Fine. There you go. Never mind. Totally.
No, it's a contest.
It's bullshit. That's too fucking dimensional thinking. And they rely on that. They being the companies, it makes things critic proof. That's why they make these moves. These companies could give two shits about diversity or any of that stuff. I worked in that industry. Believe me, it was the most sexist, fucking racist place I've ever worked in. I used to work in the auto industry. So
I've heard some stories that can back that up.
Absolutely.
It's fucking terrible. I've seen a lot of shit working down. That was just in 2 years. So you know,
the thing about it is that media consolidation itself is censoring and deleting and eliminating criticism. I mean, you're talking about insulating criticism by, you know, social justice warrior means, but Disney is also doing it by simply acquiring every property under the sun. And Disney now is so powerful that no review can be trusted. Period. No review can now be trusted. Journalism is dead in the film community, except for people like us, because This is their bread and butter. But when you review a bad Fox movie now, you're also risking not being allowed to be invited to premieres for Marvel, for Disney, for Star Wars. They are rapaciously gobbling up the entirety of the entertainment industry, and no voice can risk pissing off even one component of that. Therefore, by their acquisitions, they are stifling criticism. And that's got not a goddamn thing to do with Russian bots
or diversity or anything. And
Right.
And honestly, if you think about it in a very sinister way, it's kind of genius, and it puts doubt in that. That's where this end game is. Any criticism is just, oh, that guy's just a troll, just a bot, whatever, you know. And my movie's actually good. They are trying to reframe the narrative that The Last Jedi is a good movie, and time is the greatest test for nostalgia. And I wish we could fast forward 5 years when we talk to these people who are eventually going to come around and go, you know what, they kind of suck.
Well, that's what happened with The Force Awakens, right?
Yeah.
The Force Awakens, when it first came out, most of the goddamn fan base was hypnotized. That is a Koinai phrase. Hypnotized.
Yeah.
They are hyped. And so they cannot get over the hype. They cannot face the fact when they leave the theater that what they saw was a goddamn disappointment, a disgrace. And so that hypnosis persists for months. But then, they start thinking about it, and it kind of penetrates their dreams. And, their cornflakes start tasting less crunchy, and their sun is a little less bright. And they start to realize, hey, that kind of, what the fuck was the point of having Max von Sydow in this movie if you're just going to kill him off in the first scene, man? And what is this Rey? Why did Leia hug Rey instead of Chewie? And what and questions start to intrude on the hypnosis. And that's a big fucking problem.
I agree.
It's an absolute huge problem. Sorry, I got to cut in. We've got a lot of super chats here, so I'm gonna
go ahead,
give them the proper due. And first and foremost, thank you to everybody who donates with the super chats. That is greatly appreciated. Again, your hard-earned money, you spend your time with us. We greatly appreciate it, and we hope we are entertaining you in a somewhat educated way, at least from you guys. I don't know about me, but we'll start if. The Grand Inquisitor. Hail the Grand Inquisitor. Sorry to steal your line there, Doomcock. I'm the best goddamn bird lawyer in the world. It says $2 first. $2 super chat. Brian Smart, $10. One of my oldest subscribers, has been with us since we had 30 subscribers, something like that. Yeah. The man who told me there was a chat during live streams, because I had no idea. Brian Smart. Love you, Brian Smart. Russian bots is nothing more than the new word for denial. If someone disagrees with your feelings, bot, don't worry. Don't want to admit your shit was just bad, bot. Enough said. Well said, Brian Smart. Absolutely well said. And the great, and thank you again, Brian, the great Chris Persia with 10 Canadian dollars. Morton Bay's paper of Russian bots is farcical. One of the examples given happens to be a patron of Yellow Flash. Can we call this virtue signaling and be done? P.S. Beep bop boop beep bop boop beep bop boop.
He's a bot.
He's a bot.
Allow me to translate. He said, "Hail the tribunal."
Oh, thank you, Mecca.
Thank you.
Damn, that was quick. That was.
Are you a conjugal droid too?
Maybe.
Evidently, if you can speak droid languages, and there you go.
I thought you meant like conjugal visits.
On board when we need
That's
that.
what I was thinking too.
I was like, what are you asking?
Visits? Is there something we need to know, Tom? And do you need some bail money or?
No.
Okay, gotcha. I mean,
like 3PO.
Oh,
protocol. They remember they asked him if he's a conjugal droid. Whatever. Never mind.
No, I got you.
Star Wars, nothing but Star
Wars. Right on, Andrew V, one of your newest subscribers, just joined the chat. Who are you guys speaking of? What are you guys speaking of? Much love. We are talking about the Russian bot fiasco, toxic media, and we are. We are on trial right now. We have His Excellency Judge Van Doomcock. I can talk here with us.
Doomcock.
Hail Doomcock! Everybody, hail Doomcock! Oh shit! I've got to cut in right now because Tom suggested this and I completely blew past it.
That's all right. I was just thinking of it too.
We got to take a brief recess to give credit where credit is due. Dicktor Van Doomcock hit 10,000 subscribers yesterday.
Yay!
Give it up.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here's to 10 million, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Couldn't have done it without all of you.
There is a great live stream he did. So when you're done here, go check it out. It is wonderful. All of your live streams are great, man. And I just want to say, really proud of you. I'm happy for you. I was Rob is the one who I was listening to a Midnight's Edge podcast, and I heard Rob say, "Oh, you got to check out this guy named Doomcock," and I immediately did it because I just like the name. I'm all Doomcock. That's a funny name, huh? And went over there and was a fan ever since. You had me in a nanosecond. Like, soon as you're with your theme music, I was in. I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. And now we're friends, and this is great. So thank you for being a friend, and I can't wait till you hit a million.
For being a friend.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Appreciate it very much, man. I'm glad to be your friend as well.
Awesome. So do we want to continue?
Yeah, or were we all going to say something real quick?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You said it's so great that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let Mecca go last since she's got probably a little more to say than everybody else. I just want to say, yeah, when Rob brought him up to me, I never thought, I'd ever see anything like that on YouTube. I was genius, just pure genius. And ever since then, everything's been better than the last. And I think you found your, legion of Doomcock, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, man, you're doing it. You should be at twice that, but we'll get there, man. We gotta work the algorithm a little bit, but we'll get there. I think you're going to be at least 100,000 strong before you know it.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it, sir. That's a hopefully a noble target to shoot for. I don't know if it's
not only that, but since then you've been a very good friend, and of course, just not only a great correspondent to Midnight's Edge, but you're always there for when we need you and to help take down, the likes of Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy and STD and all that kind of stuff. And we look forward to working with you in the future, of course, with the Trek logs and all that kind of stuff, as much more than we do just whatever we're doing here as well. So, like I said, here's to 10 million. Eventually, you'll get there, and we're going to help you.
Tom. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, I did want to say, Hail Doomcock, I did make a video that I don't know if anybody wanted to check that out. It was a happy 10,000 subs and a happy 1-year anniversary on YouTube video. I was going to make that next week, but I figured with the 10,000 subs and everything, it needed to be made now. And also, of course, I look like crap, but I'm going to turn on my camera for 1 second. I do have the Doomcock shirt on, the Canon Wars t-shirt, wearing it proudly tonight because I am absolutely, I look like crap on
I can't
camera.
wear tank tops. I show too much cleavage.
I know. Well, I had to get it bigger because it's roomy and comfortable. But I did have to wear that proudly and say, "Hey, Doomcock."
It's true.
Thank you so much for being like an amazing mentor and friend. And you've actually really helped pull my channel out of the gaming gutter. You've been the Henry Higgins to my Eliza Doolittle in a lot of ways. And I was a struggling gaming YouTuber getting 36 views for 4 hours of work, and you've really helped me find my voice, and you've been that kind of final kick in my butt to get me to where I am today. And I really, really appreciate everything. So thank you so much. And hail Doomcock.
Hail Mecca. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that I was able to help. I really am. Very high. Hail to you all. Hail to the Tribunal. Thank you so much.
And you can get that shirt on Zazzle.com.
You can.
Yes, that's right.
I really suck for not wearing mine, but it's in the laundry. But I'm a proud owner.
You gotta wash it once in a while, Gary.
Once in a while.
You can't wear your Superman cape every day, and you can't wear your Doomcock shirt every day. You have to pick one or the other.
Indeed.
And my chastity
At least
metal
that's
underwear.
what my mom always told me. In your chastity underwear, as long as they're red and gold, that's all that matters.
The DJD show says breaking news: Star Wars Favreau TV show revealed called The Mandalorian, and it's gonna have
For reals,
Game of Thrones guy. Oh my god, he plays the Red
Mandalorian?
Viper.
The Red Viper.
The Red Viper, yes, which is I think that's very well cast. By the way, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Not like the Mandalorian involved with Iron Man.
No. Is it Mandalorian? It's the Boba Fett.
Oh, it's
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was like, wait, huh?
I mean, it's basically Boba Fett. I
Yeah.
mean, it's basically, Mandalorian armor. I mean, it's going to be those guys.
From
Right. It's going to be Jango Fett, Boba Fett, that outfit. I mean, that was Mandalorian armor that he was wearing. So it's going to have to do with Mandalorians. Another wonderful Kathleen Kennedy
The Mandarin
production. I'm
is
sure it's going to be
from
delightful.
Somebody finally got the joke. Thank you.
It's John Favreau. Yeah, I can't. I mean, like it's the guy who played Oberyn Martell on Game of Thrones. He played him so well. He was in Kingsman 2. I wish it well, but
I still gotta watch Kingsman 1.
dude, that is one of the best movies.
Oh my god, watch
It's
Kingsman
so
1.
hyped up now, I'm like worried. That's my problem. I'm so worried to watch it that I'm not gonna like it.
No, you're
Dude, if you don't like it, I'm gonna question your taste. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it is
Well, it's not that. It's
seriously
like
a
you
great
have no
movie.
idea. It's like I've had so many movies in my past where people are like, you don't like that movie? It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. It was so hyped up that by the time I saw it, it was not that great to me.
So
Like,
Tom doesn't
I
do well
agree,
with dude, disappointment. Like, you just gotta have a callous.
one of the only
for
ones that
disappointment.
didn't do that, and I'll give it credit, was The Matrix. That was so hyped up for me that by the time I saw it, I was amazed at how good it really was.
Pedro Pascal. Thank you, Santo Dominus. I appreciate it. Pedro Pascal, great actor. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats there. Okay, Captain Robert April. Captain Robert April. Hail. $5. Greetings from Kingsland, Georgia. Home of Star Trek Continues.
Holy
Bless-
shit.
Holy
Bless-
crap, I heard he was going there.
Wow,
Bless
that's
Star Trek
great.
Continues.
Look
That's
at the
awesome.
set.
Any of the Star Trek Continues guys, please tell them hello for Doomcock. Tell them that I really, really, really admire Star Trek Continues and everything they did. And
give him a job on the next one. If there
I
was
would
one.
love to tour the sets.
That'd be cool.
Hell, I would sweep the floor just to have the chance to tour the sets. So that's how much I would love to see where you guys have worked that magic on Star Trek Continues, because that is absolutely the best Star Trek on television right now.
I think
and CBS can't even approach it, can't even get close, and probably that's why they hate it, because it makes them look like, worse than trash, lower than garbage. By comparison, they cannot survive the comparison.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Doomcock should be a villain on that.
Totally. Yeah, Captain Robert April, please pass on all of our love for Star Trek Continues.
Yes.
It is
Please.
what's good in the world. It is what's good in the world.
And can we give a shout out to Robert April too? Because Captain April is another one of our YouTube community brothers here in the fight for our canon wars.
Yep. I always try to send out a shout out to Captain April, say to go to his channel, subscribe to him. He's a hell of a fighter. And he loves original Trek, and that makes him okay in my book any day of the week.
I'm going to look up his channel right now and put it in the chat. And yes, please subscribe to Captain Robert April, a friend to us all. And yeah, thanks for coming in, Captain. I appreciate it. I appreciate you checking the channel, and good dude. And why can't I? There it is, Captain Robert April. Oh, I love that freaking avatar with fucking Tom Baker in the middle too. That is speaking my language there, my man. All right, so here is Captain Robert April's channel. Please check him out, like, share, and subscribe. Sorry.
No, that's great.
Start watching
that's
his
what
video.
you should do. Support Captain April. Absolutely.
We got a crazy super chat from Crazy Carlos.
Okay, Crazy Carlos. Let's talk about Crazy Carlos.
1999.
He's crazy. He really is. But in all the best ways, I got to meet him down in San
The
Diego.
best people.
Yes, no, Crazy Carlos is all about passion. Love
I
you,
hate
man.
movies.
Yeah, just stopping by.
Okay,
and
I don't
saying
hate
hello.
normies, but
I love normies. Normies
I
make the
love
world
them
go
too.
round. We have to help them. We have to guide them.
took it back. I took it back.
Just stopping by to say hello. Stop doing these tribunals during my work, so I don't have time. I don't have time to live chat. You're killing me, Smalls. We'll change the time just for you, especially if you keep leaving 1999 super chats. I'm just kidding,
We're
Carlos.
gonna party like it's
Well,
1990.
it's going to be all over the place for a little while because yeah, we're only going to be able to do these once in a while, but that's going to make them an event. That's what's going to make them fun. And we'll see what happens from here on out. We can't predict the future. Only Doomcock can see the future. And that's due to his, he's got the technology to do that shit. And I don't. Daryl Rayner, $5.99. If SJW can tag dissent with a negative label, they don't have to defend their product. Keep up the good fight. Thank you. Tag dissent with a negative label. Ooh, Daryl, brainy. Yes, and that's what this is. Tagging dissent. And yeah, and maybe we should start using, I don't know. I hate using their own tactics against them because I don't want it to be an us and them thing. And can I make it clear to my chat, ladies and gentlemen, when I say SJW, it's an extreme thing for me. It doesn't mean I dislike the left, or all are welcome here. All are welcome on my channel, always. And it's not politics. It's what's going on in entertainment.
Yeah, that's exactly how I use it. It's just simply a question of, it's not anything to do with the left or the right or anything political. It is that they are getting into our entertainment and substituting political messaging for entertainment. That is the entirety of the objection. I don't object to artists like Gene Roddenberry, for example, inserting his messages or his worldview into Star Trek. I object to there being nothing but the messages. I object when the messages undermine and supplant and replace the characters and have placeholders that spew ideology rather than fucking entertainment and telling a goddamn story. So that's what I mean by SJW. That's
You're
it.
here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. So, John T-Net again. Oh, dude, 100 Hong Kong dollars. It's funny to me because media in mainland China does the same shit. Dissent voices are called internet bots run by Facebook and Google. That is very interesting, John T-Net. Thank you for that perspective. I do appreciate that. And that's kind of what we're getting at, that this is a on a bigger picture. This is a training ground. These are tests. And where do you test shit? Pop culture, where it's harmless. What? This is harmless. You're quelling hate speech. Well, yeah, there's hate speech out there. There's a lot of bullshit out there. But that's the internet, and it's a very small amount of people, if it's people at all. I travel in all these circles with Doomcock, with Mecca, with Midnight's Edge After Dark. I subscribe to Geeks and Gamers, World Class Jeff at World Class Bullshitters, great guy. EVS, all these people. I don't hear any of that stuff. I hear sometimes some salty humor at worst, but I don't hear any of that stuff. And if I did, I wouldn't be around. That's not something I'm into.
Exactly.
So there it is.
Well, we're replacing, like, all of these channels that you've mentioned, replace where we used to get it, like, from Star Wars. We used to get the entertainment without the political bullshit, and now we have to go to these YouTube channels where we're complaining about how it's all politicized and crap, and we don't want that. We just want something entertaining to escape our daily lives. We want to relax and turn off the news for a second and go to a galaxy a long time ago, far away. We want to have fun. We want to shut this stuff off for a little bit. And this is why we all kind of gather together, because, at the end of the day, bullshitting with everybody and complaining about it is actually more entertaining than the stupid movies that they're making.
That's a great point.
Yep.
I keep hearing that on my channel too. Everybody says, yes, you guys are more entertaining. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch movies anymore. I watch you guys. And I love you guys for that. I love the community for that.
And we love you too. We do. And we love everybody in the chat. We love the super chat. So many today, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's awesome. Shall we continue? Do we have any more exhibits for him, or do I have to make another argument?
No, you don't. I mean,
Okay.
just go ahead and run the chats and just let them guide the conversation.
Let's get to the chat. Man, there is so much, a lot of love for you, Doomcock. I love seeing that.
Thank you, my friends. It's good to have love when one has so much hate in his heart. Helps to believe in it.
The Grand Inquisitor subbed. Thank you so much, the Grand Inquisitor. I will try not to let you down. I'm going to go up as far as I can with the chat. If I missed anything, please at Nerdrotic Channel. It's okay if you repeat yourself. We want to try to get to as much as possible because this is, we can't do this without you guys. We can't. You are a fundamental part of our channel and the Tribunal.
I mean, yes, their input will help shape my decision. So
there you go. With 10,000 subs, you can get a personal Russian troll. There you go.
I would like one.
Yeah.
Do they have any with attractive ones? Because that would be fun.
Slurmy Scott, if I can get one to do my taxes, that would be awesome. But they probably
taxes are easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
rubles, dude. You're gonna get fucked.
Oh, I kind of will. Oh no, they're easy. I just don't want to do them. Well,
what kind of trolls are we talking about though? The under the bridge kind, or the ones with the poofy hair?
Until you have a small business in San Francisco, and then they're not so easy. Trust me. And plus, the cool thing about a comic store, guys, is I can go to a movie and write it off as research.
So, yeah.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
But man, it's quarterly. Just I just don't like to do them because it's giving away money and it sucks. Doomcock, Lord of Russian bots. If only Truth Apocalypse.
If I was the Lord of Russian bots, then nothing would be working at Kathleen Kennedy's fucking office. So I deny that charge because Kathleen Kennedy apparently is up and functioning enough to be 3 more years of that shit. So obviously I have no bots infesting her office. Fuck, she wouldn't be able to turn on a light bulb.
Yeah, if I were in there, I would take her
light
down.
Bulb.
If I were in their little story group, I would take her down. And don't think I wouldn't.
Water fountain would be spewing rancid lemonade. Nothing would work.
Oh man, they're gonna have a story group for Indiana Jones. What that?
Oh well, it's because look at this. I covered this today.
You did great video.
Jonathan Kasdan. He had Daddy's help to write Solo, and oh my gosh, it was such a great work. And then now I guess Lawrence Kasdan has decided he'd rather cut off his own left foot with a dull spoon rather than work with his idiot fucking son again and produce such high literature. And so now they've decided, well, of course Jonathan Kasdan doesn't have an idea in his fucking head, so yeah, they have to have a writers group to do a script for Indiana Jones 5. They have to have a writers group. I've never heard of that on a fucking feature film. Dude, it is 120 pages and they're really, really thin. And you don't even have to be literate, really. You can just talk it into a text to fucking, voice to text thing now. So you don't even have to spell. But he hasn't got an idea in his head. And they're trying to say that George Lucas was the genesis of all the problems with Crystal Skull. All of it. And it's like, excuse me, but bullshit. I think that Steven Spielberg directed that fucking thing, right? And I think that Frank Marshall, he produced it. Mm-hmm. And I think Kathleen Kennedy executive produced it. But no, it was all George Lucas. So this winning team now, absent George Lucas, with Jonathan Kasdan and his team of Wonder Monkeys, is going to go ahead and actually make a fucking difference? I don't think so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Not to feel sorry for George, but he's all, too, Kathleen, too. And Frank, you too, buddy.
She must have hated and resented him all along, or to have this much hate. I don't know.
Oh, where's that book? Where has that been?
In my experience, you cannot hate somebody that much unless you were in love with somebody that much. You know, you can have like a passing like resentment for somebody, but there's got to be something there, because you do not hate somebody that much without having some sort of deep love at some point. And yeah, they've got to. He's got to have like Me Too'd her. He's got to have done some shit to her. There's got to be something that I just don't that we're not seeing. That and like you said, we need the tell-all book. We need something, and it's probably not going to come out.
Objection.
What is it, counselor?
The counselor's logic is faulty.
Can you prove that?
Yes, I can. She's saying that there can't be that much hate without love in the first place. Submitted for your approval, Doomcock. How do you feel about Mikey Spock?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
There goes that argument.
Damn it.
I've never, ever loved Mikey Spock whatsoever.
Yes, but you have, sir, loved Star Trek at one point or another. And Mikey Spock is not, the hate for Mikey Spock is not so much the hate for the person herself, but the fact of what she's doing to the franchise. I would like to argue, sir, unless you think otherwise. That's my case.
No, I hate her. She's one of the worst characters ever. I mean, even if it was just an abstract show, I wouldn't be able to stand the sight of the woman. With her wooden acting, her smirk, her one of three expressions, all of which are ranging from unpleasant to milk curdling. No, I cannot see any scenario in any show where I would be able to tolerate that character. So
I think you would have like just turned it off, though. You would have not watched it. You said this show sucks, moved on. But this is Star Trek, and this is your passion. You know, you love Star Trek with a passion, and you hate what she's doing and what she represents. And you know, and I think your hate, like mine does. I'll speak for myself. My hate festers so much more for her because of what she represents to Star Trek and what she represents to Spock and now to Kirk and the Enterprise and every goddamn thing that she shouldn't have her stupid wooden ass involved in. And that makes me rage and fester even more, because I could just turn off something I hate. There's plenty of shows I fucking hate that I just turn off. I'm like, nope, don't want to deal with this. I'm going to turn you off and I'm going to move on. And it never occurs to me ever again. So I don't know.
I would like a ruling on this, Your Honor.
I'm going to recuse myself because of my extreme hatred for Mikey Spock, and I cannot. I must recuse myself. So there you go. I do not rule on this. Go ahead and move on. Gary.
Hey, I guess something cool happened, so I got to bring up the super chats. John T-Net again, 50 Hong Kong dollars. Everyone is saying congrats on 6,000. Did I hit 6,000 subs? Oh, I didn't even know. I wasn't even looking.
Yay!
Hey,
Happy 6,000.
Thank you. Let me confirm this. Yeah, 6,001. We did it. Right on. Cool.
All right, Gary. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you to all the new subs. I really appreciate it. That's brilliant. I never thought I'd get this number. So, that's awesome. This is a good night. I'm having fun. Hope you guys are. Oh, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a serious trial.
No, not at all. It's supposed to be fun.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So, yeah, more you know, it's God, I lost my train of thought there, but with it keeps getting brought back to this. If they keep diverting us to anti-diversity, anti-this, I mean, we keep losing. It was like you know, it's that label. It's that label that Daryl was talking about. We keep getting these labels applied to us, and we you know, for a lot, we start using their words, like, you know, like toxic. I even put toxic media in this. Well, I'm starting to use their words now, and that makes them kind of winning sometimes. And we got to really turn this around. And I don't know if we use their tactics against them. I'm not for that at all. I'm for being taking the high road. I am for common sense. I am for centrists, and that's all I want. That's all I want out of this shit. That's you know, if they took, as far as if we want to play identity politics, take the same fucking cast or whatever racial mix you have in the cast of Star Trek Discovery or Star Wars or whatever, you take that and plop that down in another show that's written good. I don't give a fuck. That's great. That's not what this is about. It's not what it ever has been about. And that's this constant argument. And it's just going back and forth. And I feel like we're losing sometimes. Sometimes we make headway. And, you know, I don't know what the end game is. The shit we love gets destroyed. And the nerds who are going to be around in 5 years who love this shit are going to be left picking up the pieces when the normies and the people who've, you know, the political ideologists have come through and laid waste to the thing I love, and they're on to their next thing. And I'm left with a broken Doctor Who, broken Star Trek, a broken Star Wars. That's I think we are fighting for. I don't want to speak for all of us, but that's my end game. Is I don't want the shit I've been loving for years and will continue to love. Because I'm not like I'm a nerd for life. It's not even a choice at this point. I'm way too fucking old. And I've made my living in it. I'm going to be making my living in it. So I give a fuck. I'm going to have skin in the game again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like at some point all those action figures on the back of your wall are going to be replaced by wrenches and hammers. You know, it's not going to be turned into shop up there. Your path is set. Yeah.
And I want there's to be, there's new stuff out there, and we try to steer you towards that new stuff. But, I can't lose Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars. It's like, we got to draw the line somewhere, you know?
Exactly. And I think so many fans who are less invested, people, like me, I've kind of written off Star Wars at this point. I've kind of written off Doctor Who a long time ago, and I'm probably going to go back and watch it. But, oh God, I'm kind of at the point where I want to move on to other things. I don't even want to sit through this Captain Picard show. I don't want to sit through Discovery. I don't want to finish reviewing Discovery because it's just so goddamn irritating. And I get angry when I review it, when I watch it. And a lot of people, it's turning away a lot of us who have been lifelong fans, because a lot of us just have other things to do. A lot of people have kind of different places in their lives where they're like, I'm too old to care about this shit anymore. And yeah, I am so heartbroken that so many of us are just going to leave because of this. Once all the normies and the casual people leave, and yeah, you're exactly right. We have this broken fandom. Yeah, and a lot of them have. I've heard so many people, I just don't watch it. And I was kind of like that with Enterprise as well. I did not watch Enterprise because it was kind of shit. And I kind of regret not complaining back then. And I kind of regret.
Yeah.
Same thing with Gem of the Holograms and Ghostbusters and all these things. I regret not complaining because things just kind of keep getting worse and worse and worse in everything that I love.
Well, I was complaining.
Oh, I know. That's how I found you. That's how I found you. Believe me.
Yeah. Real quick, Apple Crow. Doomcock, and I'll get back to that because that was great, random. Thank you. Apple Crow says, I remember the first time I saw Doomcock's thumbnail, I was like, what kind of shit is this? And then I clicked it and ended up being his first patron. Apple Crow.
Hey.
Man, dude, he is the minister of a word that I still cannot get my mind around, but it means basically the fear of thinking that a duck is watching you. It's a particular phobia that a duck is watching you, and thus Apple Crow
like a duck is watching me.
Ducks are watching you always.
Oh,
the duck will be with you always.
Always. Wait a minute. I have a duck picture. Hang on a second, guys. I was just looking at this picture today. I was just looking at this picture.
Don't put it up.
A duck is watching you.
Don't you put it up, Gary. God damn it.
Putting it up.
I am always afraid. Ever since he told me this thing, I think that there's a duck.
There's ducks everywhere. Look at those quacks right there. You can't unsee it once you see it. Once you see the duck bill, you can't unsee it.
And they're all watching us.
Quote Billy Mooney,
Howard the schmuck,
as Barnes and Barnes, I'm looking for ducks. I look everywhere. I look in the mayonnaise. I look in the chair. Back to you, Phil.
Quack. It's duck
Is the
season.
That's
right.
Oh my God! Is the linoleum made of duck bills?
Flapping my arms, I began to cluck. Look at me, I'm the disco duck.
Oh.
Disco duck.
Go Rick D's.
I just have one question: is the linoleum made of duck bills?
It might be.
Since he was quoting linoleum.
One in the middle is Howard the Schmuck.
I just, ever since actually Dennis showed me that, God, when Force Awakens came out and I didn't notice the duck bill in the stormtroopers. And I went, God damn it. We should have known right then. Right then.
Yeah, well, they were trying to replicate the early success of Howard the Duck, not realizing that it was not actually early success at all. But they tried.
Yeah, it will suck something.
Yeah, they give it a shot. I don't know. Anyway, Apple Crow, man, that was for you. That disco duck was for you, buddy. Thank you, man.
Hey, Lando Calrissian is in the chat.
Wow.
What's up, Lando?
Dude, why the fuck did you join up with that episode 9?
Yeah, man.
Don't you know that they're gonna do to you? Jesus Christ! What a humiliation are they gonna do for Lando Calrissian?
Well, they already did it. They're making him fuck the ship.
I
Right?
need a few minutes with the Millennium Falcon alone, if you know what I mean.
It's like it's one thing if the SJW bot looked like me or something, but no, it looks like a freaking bot that's going around free the droids, bot rights
How does
matter.
that work? It just worked.
No,
Like, I mean, that fucking bot looked like a moisture evaporator with a pie plate on its fucking head. And that's not really an attractive look for any droid in my book. I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
No, you're totally right. Not only that, nobody really gives a shit about the droids. Outside of Luke gets an attachment to R2, but it's not because he gives a shit. It's because R2 saves his ass a few times, and he's a good little droid. Every other droid in the universe is treated like absolute dog shit. Why is he in love with his It makes no sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
No, it really doesn't. It's super inconsistent. They're referred to as that kind, and that was dumb. Joe,
when there's not a waist high knot hole in a tree, one gets desperate.
Well, yeah. Hey, baby. Joe
45 can make a man do strange things.
Enough of them can. That's for damn sure. Oh, sorry.
I lost
continue.
Joe K4700 or K4700 or 47 or 4700. I don't know. Sorry. $2 super chat. Ivan Drago bots to Star Wars. We must break you. We must.
I'd watch that.
If he dies, he dies.
He dies.
Yo, man, you killed my friend.
I told you Force Awakens was made by a quack. Aha, funny Apple Crow.
And now we come full circle.
Yes, we have.
Yes, and now the bill has come due, Apple Crow.
Or should I say quack, quack, quack?
Captain Robert April says, Weird Al Yankovic, I want a new drug. I
want a new
duck. Want a new duck. Yes.
Love it. I just got a Weird Al Yankovic live DVD in the mail today.
Oh, nice.
Liebe.
Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. That was a great show.
Dodgers.
You need that the bad Lost in Space to appreciate what is that? You need the bad Lost in Space to appreciate the good. Star Trek. That's how it was when I was coming up. Yep. Yeah.
Well, in Eastern philosophy, they are simply different ends of the same pole. I mean, how would you know what is wet without something that's dry? How do you know what's black if there's no white? These are complementary things that appear to be opposites, but actually are simply different manifestations of the same phenomenon. So
Exactly.
Lost in Space and Star Trek are one and the same. It just so happens that one of them you wouldn't want to step in. Actually, both these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Current Lost in Space on Netflix or Star Trek Discovery.
Current Lost in Space on Netflix, although it's abominable. I tried to. I got through 25 minutes of it, and I had to stop. And so Harvey went and watched the rest and reviewed it for me. And then he watched the second episode, and he just hasn't been able to bring himself to make a review. But it's bad, Gary. It's bad.
It's Netflix is definitely different. I don't know. I was not into Lost in Space that much as a kid. It was just I remember seeing it when I was really young, so I wasn't like hung up on the lore of it. But I could see how you would say that. I thought it was okay, but again, not a huge fan. So.
Well, it was great when I was a kid. It's just when I went back as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep to every episode.
Well, it got really repetitive. It was very repetitive, and yeah.
But it is, any incarnation of Lost in Space is better than Star Trek Discovery. I mean, that's I would accept that as an axiom. I mean, I've actually watched a lot of the original Lost in Space. I mean, I've seen most of them a couple of times as a kid. I mean, the Great Vegetable Invasion, remember, where they were all getting the giant carrot. I mean, you had Dr. Smith turning into a hippie. That was a thing on these shows. Every fucking science fiction show at the time had to have hippies. And every show at the time had to have hippies. And if it was a science fiction show, a main character had to turn into a hippie. Dr. Smith turned into a hippie. We had Spock turn into a hippie briefly, like, Adam, I reach you. And then doing the jam session with the Vulcan harp with, the space hippies and the way to Eden, got to crack my knuckles and jump for joy. I got a clean bill of health from Dr. McCoy.
That's a good video. I'm sure it's out there already. All the times hippies showed up in 60s TV shows.
That's every Dragnet was every episode of Dragnet.
That's Dragnet.
Right. Going through the chat here, and there's Tim F. Blake 7, no hippies.
Well, yeah, but that was in Britain. I don't know if I think they all migrated over on the land bridge and wound up at Haight-Ashbury.
Yeah, I think the hippies in Britain were kind of mods back then more than anything.
Gary Oldman's Dr. Smith was better. We had a topic a couple of podcasts ago that was a really fun one. We your favorite things or what was good in the bad, like your favorite thing and a bad thing. So mine was like Tim Roth in that horrible Planet of the Apes remake. I thought he was excellent in that turd, or like
that's a good one.
That's right, Mr. Orange.
Dude, he showed up to act. He like studied how chimpanzees moved. He was fucking excellent, and it was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Had
Marky Mark as the
Marky Mark. I've never been a Marky Mark fan.
No. Marky Mark was cool in Boogie Nights, though.
Boogie Nights, yes.
That was his movie. That's a great movie, and one of the best Burt Reynolds movies ever made.
Yep.
It wasn't his fault, but he was way out of his league in The Departed. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But he was way out of his league, surrounded by he was like a minor league player trying to play in the majors.
Yep. Tell you something about Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights got something so right. I did some drugs in the past, and the whole tweakers living in a house thing. That was done perfection. My wife and I were just tripping out, especially when the whole will you be my mom scene. Melissa was that was so accurate to that time, and just
do you know what that scene was a callback to, Gary?
What was it?
You don't know.
I don't know.
It was a callback to the Wonderland murders, where a household full of people, drug dealers, got shot up, and Johnny Wad was there. John Holmes. He was the Dirk Diggler that was actually there. It was a big massacre.
I remember when that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I remember hearing about it. Yeah. John
and
Holmes.
Alfred Molina was the guy, right? He was the guy that, with the Filipino youth that was throwing firecrackers. He was
Alfred Molina, and it was Tom Jane. Tom Jane played this is why I know he's like one of the greatest actors of our time. He had the best tweaker. He was John Valisi. Sorry, John, if you're still alive. John Valisi, he like everybody, I guess, has known a tweaker maybe once in their lives. He did that so perfect. It was creepy. I was like, oh shit. I was starting to get kind of weirded out, like how good that the surrealness of it. And yeah, don't mind him. He's Chinese. Yeah. Like so fucking weird.
Jesus, with those firecrackers going off and everyone's jumping and everyone's tweaking and everyone's already wired. It was just great.
They're fucking jamming out to a song and he's like walking around in a bathrobe with a gun. It's like, oh, I may or may not.
Sister Christian, oh, the time has come.
Spock was a hippie. Long live and prosper, man. Oh yeah, we can do a little.
They're talking about F Troop had. They don't believe that F Troop had hippies. F Troop had hippies. F Troop had. They were singing Lemon Tree. They were singing Mr. Tambourine Man. Yes, they did dress up like hippies.
If you don't do something now, you're gonna wind up with drum circle in your backyard.
Lori has to find this. I have F Troop on DVD. I have every episode. So
you have F Troop on DVD.
Of course I do.
She's got a hell of a collection of DVDs.
Like, more like ask her what she doesn't have.
Pretty impressive.
She doesn't have in search of, but we're going to try to fix that.
On the Beverly Hillbillies, one of my favorite ones was the one where Jethro thinks he's Robin Hood and he's out in the park and there's a bunch of hippies and Granny goes out there to talk sense to him and she gets in a conversation with one of the hippies and she tells them that she smokes crawdads. And he smoke crawdads. Wow. That was very funny.
I knew there was something wrong with
very, very funny. And I love that back then when Jethro was going through phases. I mean, he was Robin Hood and then he was 007 and he had the kind of tub, the armor-proof tub over the jalopy, basically a wash tub that he'd lower. He could lower it on a string.
That was such a great show.
I know this is a little off topic, but you guys have brought up Jethro, and I had this conversation a while back with a friend of mine. I think he was like the prototype for Randy Quaid's character in National Lampoon's Vacation. Agree or disagree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
I just want a vindication on that. Sorry, off topic.
No,
that's okay.
That's good.
Sorry, I'm just making sure. Yeah, my dogs are going nuts. Sorry, folks. It's okay. That means Mom, Mrs. Nerdrotic is out front, so that's good. She'll take care of it. Let's get to the chat.
Phantom Cat.
The Phantom. Oh, maybe it is. If the Phantom Cat returns, that'd be cool. I kind of liked it. If you know what I'm referring to, the paranormal show that was on last night.
I didn't get to watch it. Sorry, I got to catch you guys for a little bit, but then I had to go to bed.
That was lots of fun. It's on the channel. Check it out.
That's so weird. You had a phantom cat. I had a phantom dog at my old apartment in Vegas, and he taught my cat, my cat was like about 3 years old at the time. He taught him how to stand on his hind legs and beg and put his little paws together. And it was the weirdest thing because I used to always kind of see, my other cat would chase nothing, just back and forth like they're playing chase or whatever. And then once one cat died, and the new kitten had kept playing with this whatever that was there, and I don't think it was the old cat because this new kitten was like 3 years old and he just stood on his hind legs and was like, I want with his little paws together like he was a dog, and cats don't usually do that. And it was the cutest thing.
They never do that. That's really weird.
Yeah,
it's really, really weird.
I might have a video of that somewhere.
I like that.
Yes, we had a ghost cat in our house, but you got to listen to the paranormal show to know the story. And I just saw Mike Cedar talking about Christian Bale playing this. Okay, I'll mention a political name, but this is as far as acting is concerned. Okay, he's playing Dick Cheney. Check that picture out.
I seen that
shit.
Yeah, the trailer was incredible. I didn't know it was him, and I have a amazing talent for spotting faces. It was so astonishing.
Really good.
Yeah, that looks. Christian Bale's a hell of an actor. So
Christian Bale, oh, your time has come.
Dan Ramos says, did Hogan's Heroes have hippies?
For the Oscar you have never
Yes-ish. I think, God, I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm sure they did. I can't remember an instance, but I'm sure they had something of that sort, even though it was World War II.
Lando Calrissian says dogs are greater than cats. I thought you were going to say like robots are greater than people or something like that, Lando. But what? Yeah. By the way, Lando, what do you mean by dogs are greater than cats? Be specific. Like you like to pet your dog, and or something else.
You said Carlos was crazy.
Yes, Carlos is good, but that was Lando Calrissian. So
Oh, that
gives
was
a whole, when he says dogs are greater
Is
than
he-
cats, it
oh,
gives it a
Carlos,
whole new
okay,
meaning.
Carlos is saying cats are better than all animals. Never mind, my bad. I see it
Yes.
now.
We will agree to disagree. I like all animals. I don't favor, but I have dogs, but I've had cats.
I got one of each. Okay, I'm an equal opportunity animal lover.
Yeah, my cats are buried in my backyard now. Unfortunately,
They equally have the opportunity to piss me off on a daily basis.
Yep. So adorable. Dan
I
Ramos.
love them. I love them, and when I go to bed, they crawl up on top of me and don't let me sleep. So
Tarka Jedi asks, I ask the council, which do you believe is possible? Which do you believe is possible? Warp drive or hyperspace?
Hyperspace.
Yeah, I think hyperspace. I think bending the fabric of space time is probably the way that they travel. I don't know. I obviously faster than light travel must be possible because there's all these UFOs out there, Gary. I mean, you know, we've been talking about that. I just cannot think that every single sighting has been bullshit with all the incredible old pictures. That first one from 1870 that I showed you last night.
right.
And they, you know, space is vast. So
Well, if you want to get
There you
into
go.
scientific mathematics, there you go. There's no way at least a few of those aren't real.
Yeah.
and it only takes one. If one
Exactly.
is real,
Exactly.
Well, and the
Exactly.
thing about the cigar-shaped UFOs is, I think I was saying this in chat last night, is that those tend to be the kind of most overlooked but the most credible like examples of it, because they're the hardest to fake. They're the hardest, like the hardest to kind of discredit in a lot of ways. You know, when you have the cigar-shaped thing there, you can tell us something there, and those are the ones that kind of people don't talk about so much. So those are the ones I tend to believe a little bit more than like your classic UFOs, the big saucer shaped things, the ones that look like hot air balloons, the ones that look like, you know, weather balloons or whatever too.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
The real, man, the real. And like Hitchhiker says, space is big, really,
Yeah.
really big.
wanna
Like
say
you
I
think
love
it's a
your
long way to
shirt,
the chemist,
Gary.
but space is big.
Speaking of Hitchhiker.
Yes, yes. Comic-Con.
Oh, that's amazing.
Comic-Con.
God, I need that shirt too.
There, eBay.
Oh, I know.
Cool, but it's pretty cool. But yeah.
Well, God, I just splurged on a Killer Clown shirt today and an Audrey too. So,
Oh, I know.
well, it's not a shirt, but I got to show.
I
off
want the
Audrey
shirt.
too. Well, you want the shirt, but I'll show off my Audrey too.
I want my I want an Audrey too.
The plushie.
Lori
that's
Roberts.
Very cool. That's very cool. I like
Oh,
that.
okay,
I
let me see that.
have a
Let me see
shirt
it again.
punch shirt on today.
The Psycho Bunch.
Oh, that's cool.
And what? Show yours again, random. Did you show something that I missed?
Oh,
It?
yeah.
She had it earlier, but she can show it again because you can pick those up on Zazzle.com.
You got a face.
Oh, this guy.
That moves?
This is the Audrey too.
Oh, nice. Here, I'll click on that. There you go.
My little plushie. I had to get the. It's so cute. Audrey too. I had to. I can't afford it, but I had to get it.
It's adorable.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's beautiful. I like
I
it.
love plushies though. I love cute plushies. I guess I put out on Twitter today. I put a picture with my Charlie Cthulhu that looks like Harvey, and I'm like, I think I like cute things that want to kill me. They're adorable.
The horror. The horror.
The horror. Okay, we're gonna get the chat real quick. Cigar-shaped ships like Arrival, kinda. They kind of look like that, Dan. It's a weird picture. If you go look at our show, it was definitely weird, and I had never seen that, so that was cool.
Yeah, I broke that to you. Breaking news.
Dan's like, I don't think I.
You owe me 5 cents.
Just get
You
into
don't
the
do
chat
the
here.
theme justice unless you actually watch the video, though. It's much better in the video, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Watch my video.
Dan Ramos says, all hail the feline master race. And also, we have a super chat from Lori Roberts. Harvey has the dope on the UFOs. Thank you for the $2, Lori. We appreciate it.
I know what the UFOs are and what they want, but I won't say. But if you buy my buttons at
I see how you are.
// DVD Shoporama, it's written on the back of one of them. You may be the lucky winner. The truth about UFOs and why you're here.
You're just teasing us. You know everything about UFOs.
I got a golden button.
That's right. I'm not disclosing. But perhaps in a future episode I will.
Could we bribe you to disclose? Would you perhaps maybe want an Audrey 2 to disclose what the UFOs want?
Maybe, or you could lower my force field and let me out, and then I'll lecture. I'll spill the beans about the UFOs before.
Ooh, can we see
destroy
Audrey
the
2
universe
versus Harvey?
Yeah, who would
I
win?
would love to see Audrey 2 versus Harvey, not just regular Audrey 2, but Audrey 2 at the end of the director's cut.
Giant Audrey 2 that eats every. I just
that
saw
would
the
be like
director's
fucking awesome.
I don't know.
I
don't know. I have so many strong reservations.
Tell it to the Marine.
Should I go and perform mutilations?
Come on, kid. What will it be? Okay, we gotta stop there. We'll get in trouble.
Will we be able to will we be able to have stable nuclear fusion in the next 50 years? Doomcock?
How about that?
Oh no. I mean, we're breeding a race of people that now have a attention span of about 7 fucking seconds, and that's not really very conducive to higher mathematics and science. So, no, I think we will be lucky in 50 years to have color television. That's what
I know.
Shut up! I'm baiting.
Yeah, in a world where Russian bots are believable at any point, I doubt it.
Ouch, my balls, the movie coming next.
I mean, look at our entertainment. We're already in an idiocracy. Look at what passes for Star Trek nowadays. Like, come on. In about a year, we'll just have fucking Michael Burnham saying, Star Trek space. This is Star Trek now.
Oh, I think you're onto something random with your theory that everything's made to where you know when to look up from your phone. Otherwise, you don't have to pay attention.
Yeah. And that's exactly, and I didn't even do it intentionally when I did my Captain Marvel trailer reaction. I just instinctively, like, I knew, okay, I need to make the video of how disinterested I am while I'm texting, because this is who they're marketing their fucking movie to. And I didn't even realize at the time when I was looking up, okay, it's during the flash of light and the loud noises. And that's when I happened to look up, and it was kind of trippy, and it kind of spooks me for that. Oh yes, and de-evolution is real.
Yes.
I have to plug Devo, so sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we not men? We are.
Yes.
Devo.
Well, they've been onto this stuff since the 70s about we're getting dumber as a species.
Oh, we are. Yes, we are definitely evolving. And yeah, well, the whole ancient civilization argument. I mean,
idiocracy.
Yes, we are. I mean, isn't Harvey kind of proof that things other exist? Or are you going to try to tell me Doomcock just made him up and he's just a puppet?
Harvey?
Harvey?
I am absolutely proof that the veil can be lifted and you can see beyond this mortal coil into the great beyond. For there are more things, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Shakespeare said that. Even he knew about John Teeter back then.
You know what? I believe him, yo.
There you go. Tarka Jedi says, the maneuvers defy inertia. Therefore, I deduce that they are warping space around them in the bubble. They would not, Harvey created, they would not feel the effects of travel. So, okay.
Well, they actually, I think that hypothetically, they generate their own gravity. And so essentially they can generate a point of gravity of whatever strength they desire in any direction they desire. And so they're essentially falling towards that point, even if that point is up in the sky or deep in space or whatever. They're essentially falling in their own gravity field artificially. That's at least based on that guy John Lazar talking about their Area 51 UFOs that were captured.
Element 115.
Yes.
Yes, the anti-gravity element. Good knowledge there, Doomcock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Animals are like kung fu masters. What the fuck does that? Okay. No, little 3-year-old kids are. They're like kung fu masters that hit you in the balls every time with whatever you're throwing. They hit you in the fucking balls.
I love that Eddie Murphy bit. Take this little kid. I'm gonna drop kick the little motherfucker. Got the hard shoes and they kick you in the nuts. Oh look, he's baby talking. No, I ain't baby talking. He just kicked me in the
nuts. The Prisoner. I'm pretty sure The Prisoner never had a hippie episode.
You're right. That's an interesting point. Now, there was definitely counterculture in The Prisoner. I know at Madame Ungadine's party, it was kind of trippy and mod, and they were kind of moving the camera in. This is, of course, in A, B, and C, the episode where they were basically entering his mind, his dreams, and trying to determine who was his contact, A, B, or C. And Madame Engadine was C. And in that, it was when he trashed the dose, basically, so that he was lucid dreaming at that point. And then at that point, he made that party really trippy. It was going da 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 da, and like the camera was swinging, and yeah, he was fucking with them. So there was that. And of course, in the final episode, when they were, when he was blasting people, it was playing "All You Need Is Love." So and what's more hippie summer of love than that?
Nah, nothing. That's good point. But are UFOs extraterrestrial? What if they're temporal observers using UFO folklore as camouflage? So are the UFOs or us? That's a possibility. I always entertain that thought with UFOs.
Future travelers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely possible that they could be time travelers. I don't know what the hell they'd be coming back for. It seems like they ought to be stopping us from making these horrible mistakes, but I don't know.
We have arrived at the
maybe they're
dumbest part in our history.
Maybe I take over and everyone is a dick. Everyone is a Dicktor, and they say, let's go back and watch them fuck up.
I don't think time works the way it does for them like it does for us. Did you guys watch Taken, the Steven Spielberg miniseries? Not the Liam Neeson movie?
I did not.
Okay, it kind of has a lot of really interesting.
Yeah,
it has a lot of really interesting sort of theories on UFOs where they kind of exist outside of our space time and things don't work the same for them as they do us. That's why you can kind of they appear when they appear, and you can't like just track them and you can't find them because the time works differently for them, and it's really hard to explain without watching the whole miniseries. But it's actually really good, and the whole premise of that was they were kind of trying to create something where they kind of found a couple of families to interbreed with over the years, and it kind of failed here and there. But towards the end, they kind of picked two people to say, okay, you two need to breed to make this kind of perfect being, so that we can kind of be one with the human species. And it happened over a lot of years, and they put these little trackers in people's heads. And I think there's a lot of like real stuff behind how they wrote the screenplay for that movie. And it's because like I've had like weird experiences with my mother and I, where she and I both had people.
Are you still talking about Taken, the Spielberg one?
Yeah.
TV show?
Yeah, it was a miniseries.
Yeah. Oh, you said movie. Okay. I was sorry.
Movie miniseries, whatever. Yeah. So we, she and I had kind of similar stuff, and they pulled off of a lot of like real sort of experiences from people, like the triangle sort of marks that they left on people, and they kind of pulled from a lot of sort of real experiences and reports that people have had from UFOs. So I think that one was probably as close to what I've seen with kind of personal experiences and with my own kind of research that I've ever seen. So I highly recommend that if you guys ever get a chance to check it out.
Good. I'll check that out.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I've
like
got
that.
this
That sounds like what Manifest is trying to do, except fail miserably at. It's a show Zemeckis produced, and it's oh my god, oh man, that's what maybe that I'll introduce that as a topic next time. Is Mr. Sci-Fi? We talked about this, Tom. Mr. Sci-Fi did a video, and in the title of it, he put "Why do non-sci-fi writers write science fiction?"
Yep.
Which is what everybody's been saying. And Manifest is a perfect example of that. Gifted is the perfect example of why do drama people write superhero shows? Why do Gilmore Girl writers write Star Trek Discovery? Prime example of what's going on. And it's not saying they can't. I'm just saying they should research, do a little homework maybe or something.
Well, not only that, it was a big part of where we were talking about how, you know, why would you want to work in sanitation when you're an electrician?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you just need the money for a little while.
Right. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's like if you're an electrician, be an electrician. Go work on the Gilmore Girls. Don't come over here, or vice versa. However you want to put it. Not to put STD as sanitation, but it is. But it's as bad as working in like sanitation, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, and
it's just it's really stupid how they've done that. Yeah.
You know, and occasionally you'll get a Noah Hawley who comes over to Legion and like just gets it. You know, immediately.
Yeah. And then there was the director of who was supposed to be making Star Trek 4 that we know is probably not going to happen, sadly. She was one of the few people that was announced for one of these projects that actually has had some experience in this area. She had done, you know, some life one or whatever over in the UK, and she'd done some of the Defenders episodes, and I think some Jessica Jones and stuff like that on Netflix. So at least she'd kind of worked in this arena before to where it wasn't like she was just jumping in from the Gilmore Girls, which seems to be the norm. And I know I get it. Sometimes it's somebody who knows somebody, but no, a lot of times these are diversity hires. And I'm hearing a lot of this from inside Hollywood too. I don't know about you, Gary, but it's like, you know, a lot of these times it's like, it's because they're either whatever race or whatever sex, and they need to hire them because, like you said, I think earlier out in the beginning of the show, like it's always been a very sexist and racist place in Hollywood.
Yep, it has. And you know, it's an overcorrection. They're okay. We're not saying the correction needed to be made. Absolutely. But
exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Passing over talented people who just to do it. And I'm not even saying that talented, they're passing over, you know, other races, the talented people. They're just picking something that's easy. So they're not really doing their homework, because if they did, you know what, that would happen anyway. It would happen naturally. And, you know, we want talented people to write our stuff. And if they're not talented, go hone your craft, get talented and come back. That's fine. You know, it's not saying, you know, pay your dues. That's all we're saying.
Go to Talent R Us and buy some.
Buy some. Hey,
go on YouTube. There's a guy named Overlord DVD who's actually really fucking talented. Yep. Hire him.
Thank you. That's a good endorsement. I like that. Yeah.
I have to say that. You're programmed me to.
TM.
I would anyway. You know that.
I know.
Yeah, like every 23 hours she says it, even if she's asleep. You must hire Doomcock. He
is the most talented YouTuber.
Exactly. Bestest Overlord ever.
Exactly.
Really it was better than Cats. No.
Better than Cats. Everything's better than Cats, Gary.
We're more likely to develop advanced solar collection tech before we solve control fusion, besides the fact that no government energy agency would ever approve it for use, says Jack the Tech. And, you know, he says the tech is in his name, so he might know what he's talking about. Well, you're probably right about the government thing, not approving it. But I'm a firm believer in the Epstein drive. Epstein drive. All about
as long as it doesn't get infected by proto-molecule, it's fine.
It's fine.
But if you see blue glowing shit, shut down the Epstein drive.
That's a whole nother kind of STD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's it with blue floating shit?
Let's talk about The Expanse season 4. I'm excited. I'm so fucking excited about The Expanse season 4. I cannot even tell you.
No, the production they started shooting yesterday.
Yep.
Yesterday they started shooting. I think they're shooting episodes 1 and 2 back to back. I think there's going to be 10 episodes. I saw the read-through room. I didn't see anybody new because I was kind of looking for maybe a somebody to play Murtry, who's a bad guy this season.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, he's a character in the show. And
I know,
won't tell you. And sorry. Well, that's the difference between spoilers. It's like it's on a location. No spoilers. It's there's
any spoilers, man. I'm not reading the books.
All right. So there's a guy who's in the show. I didn't recognize anybody. So, but it looks like everybody's coming back because I was worried like there'd be no Avasarala, but they're
right
there. So.
Well, apparently, like you said, or others have slipped that, you know, she doesn't really play much of a part in the coming book, but that, you know, they're going ahead and integrating her anyway, which is cool. You know, Gary, I mean, from what I understand, they're kind of deviating from the books. Is that true?
Yes, they started out deviating from the books. Avasarala is not in the first book. So what they did is they mixed a little bit of what they do is they'll bring something over from another book to kind of integrate it in, because the books don't center around the crew, the Rocinante, all of the crew. They center around Holden, and then they go to side characters like they did with Miller. Yeah. They always like introduce one or two new side characters, and you follow them. And you can't do that in the show though, because some of the characters frankly don't work and probably wouldn't work in TV, and you would have less time with the crew.
Yeah,
which is clearly what we don't want.
Well, that's cool then. Yeah. So after the show is over, we can go to the books and really have an entirely, largely different experience.
Oh, absolutely. They're quite good. Most of them are quite good. There's some, there's some slow points, but overall really, really good. And as they pump out a book every year, not every 2 years, like every year. And you got a story group writing a fucking 100-something page script for Indiana Jones, but James is Corey Dan Abram and Ty Frank could pump out a novel every year. So
well, they're real writers.
Yep.
Right. And I got to say this because I know earlier you had brought up the whole Indiana Jones situation, Doomcock, and you're not wrong. Don't get me in the least, but I got to say this because I always have to when it comes to George. Just also remember, he was the one who pushed this fucking script for so long, even though Steven Spielberg kept saying, no. He finally gave in to him because he would not shut up about it. And the only thing that made him change his mind, he's like, okay, we can change it. It's not going to be aliens. It'll be interdimensional beings. Does that work? As long as there's monkeys in it, I don't care.
Those fucking CG monkeys. Oh my god.
That last part, I don't know. The other part's true.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I love George. Don't get me wrong. You know my love-hate relationship.
Oh yeah. And I see. But I mean, the thing is, this is a transparent hit job on George Lucas trying to basically see. It's not only about Indiana Jones.
No, I know. I totally
really what they were saying is that George Lucas sucks and old Star Wars isn't all it's cracked up to be by proxy. I mean that's what I was getting.
Figured out the pattern.
Don't fret about it.
I totally agree with you. No. I totally agree with you because you're right. And I'll say this then in the defense of that. Look at this article and look at every one of these articles. What are they? Just take out the names in the movie. Always the fucking same. You don't need Chris Pine to play Kirk. You don't need George Lucas to make Star Wars. You don't need so-and-so in whatever DC movie to make. These are always the same fucking article with the names and dates and places changed. That's it.
Yeah.
And notice that?
That's this. Yeah. And this, what we're talking about, the toxic media, we can almost do like 18 parts on this.
To get us back to what we were talking about originally on the Tribunal, I did send you something, you guys, in the Twitter that I would like to submit for evidence, and that was that Larry, who helped me out so greatly last night from the Wilk Report over there, he sent me something else, and he has reason to believe, and let me show that. Oh, you got it. There you go. He has reason to believe that his Twitter feed revealed some interesting things he didn't put in the Journal article, and he points out there that he scrubs some of the tweets. So if this is true, this really is evidence that there's some type of conspiracy, because as I argued last night, it's like this is one of those situations where a scientist will go in wanting to prove something no matter what,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it's to prove that water isn't wet and they know they can't prove it, they will do whatever they can to try and get the outcome they want. And that's what Larry was going through last night. Yeah, and that is that this guy's argument doesn't hold water to bring back water. And not only that, it's not even the point he's coming to and what he has concluded from all this. The point he's trying to make isn't even the point that's proven in whatever little evidence that he does have. You know, even Larry gave the guy the benefit of the doubt and went through it all and goes, okay, yeah, he knew how to do this and that and check for the Russian bots and all that kind of stuff and the Russian trolls and the difference. And I do urge you guys to listen to that video after we're done here if you really want to hear the breakdown. And he even goes through the math and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, I just have this, I'm just at this point, and it ties right into the whole thing with the media pushing that. And look at another thing that's going on, and this is another motion I want to make here, is that this is all the cover up from the backlash of Kathleen Kennedy getting 3 more years at Lucasfilm.
Oh, absolutely. I would entirely grant that as a given. I think it's a part of this entire thing of her getting her honorary Oscar, her getting her contract extension, her getting her promotional article bullshit about she saved Star Wars, which is the most absurd fucking thing I've heard in my life. And then you know, this it is a coordinated effort to further discredit not only us, but put another dent in George Lucas's legacy. Because hey, if the original stuff wasn't that great to begin with, then they won't mind if we fuck it up. That's what they're saying, basically.
Well, I'll say this to you, sir. I'll say this: if you have a drink, pour it right now, or if you have it filled already.
Yes, I have one here.
Queen Kennedy to make Star Wars great article that's bound to happen at some point. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because they're going to
countdown clock is on.
You know they're going to turn on her too. Eventually, it's going to be the same damn thing.
Oh yeah, it all runs in cycles, and that's what I constantly.
We don't need Kathleen Kennedy.
No.
Oh,
and I hate to crow on this all the time, guys. So speaking of taking a drink, it's a drinking game when every time I mention the goddamn comic store. But I'm going to go into it anyway because the 10 years I spent there was a study in pop culture. I got to talk to fans every day. I dealt with comic books, which are, you know, just thousands of different stories, and everything we're going through now I've seen in comic books already. It's already gone through with the behind the scenes in comic books, you know, changing a hero from a male to a female. This is like old hat. And I'm having old arguments with people on YouTube that I had a decade ago inside my comic store. And the end result, when you do stuff like that, when you do something drastic, or when you, and what Disney's doing is trying to spin the narrative away from damaging their brand, which it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts. And the end result every time is disinterest in the brand. It just dies, and it doesn't die overnight. It just, people stop caring. There's a point where they just slowly stop caring because people get tired of it. Even the defenders of The Last Jedi are going to get bored with this argument and move on. And the people who are hating on it right now are just if they don't feel like they're making headway, they're going to find late. They're going to peace out. And that's what, and I've seen it in comics 100 times, 100 fucking times. So that's what's happening now. And that's what I truly worry about, because like I said to you guys before, out of these 3, I want to keep one of them. And I've written off Star Wars, and, you know, Doctor Who is maybe something I'll come back to someday. So I'd like to keep Trek the way it is. I mean, It's not even my favorite out of the 3, but you know, I got to save something, you know.
Exactly. I'm so tired of losing our franchises. I'm so tired of, like, I've been getting shit on this Doctor Who video that I did last night, and I am so tired of hating every fucking franchise. It is so, you know, and I will be the first to call out bullshit on the Doctor Who stuff when it gets SJW, because it already has. But I'm so tired of hating everything. I need to like something. I want something to be good. God damn it! I deserve some sort of quality entertainment, and it's really, really frustrating and pissing me off that I don't have anything anymore that I used to love. And I don't know what to do about it other than yell and scream and, you know, make a YouTube channel, be a part of the tribunal, watch Doomcock, all of these things. Like, what can you do at this point when everything you used to love is just turning to shit? You know, and I can go back into my music geek, you know, obscure hipster, whatever music that I love, but that's not the point. I want to watch something. I want to feel something. I want to be a part of something that's bigger than me. And I had that with Star Trek, and I have that with Babylon 5. Fortunately, I can still go back and watch Babylon 5 you know, on my DVDs. But man, I'm so tired of having to hate everything. And I just wish that we could fix this and move on, because I'm tired of this shit. I don't know about you guys, but I am tired of this.
Just wrote a country song.
Yeah, I'm tired of this bullshit.
I'm tired of the bullshit.
I know.
Are you turd? No, I'm tired.
Sorry.
So tired.
So turd.
Sorry.
Hypno turd.
No.
Anti-trekker shout out there.
Yeah. Hail anti-trekker.
Hail anti-trekker. Love that guy. Definitely check his channel out. And you're right. And what I do is that's why we try to cover alternatives here. We have, I highly recommend Counterpart, The Expanse, Legion, all great shows on their own right that are written wonderfully, that have diverse casts. No freaking Mary Sue's, Cobra Kai, fucking Cobra Kai. Yes. I mean, those 4 things right now you can go to and you will get complete pure joy out of them, and just walk away happy and feel like simply a good story was told.
Because Cobra Kai.
Because we can't get that anymore. But and that's what people are going to do. They're going to end up moving on. The Star Wars stuff has lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, and that because it's got a strong fan base. But man, it has been
Cobra Kai is my new Star Wars. I don't give a shit about Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I loved the Karate Kid as a kid anyway. You know, I used to get shit.
Oh, I did too. But
Karate Kid bookmark. You know, they're like, "Oh, if you love the Karate Kid, why don't you marry him?" It's like, dude, that's not the point. I love the. Yeah, well, I know, but. Yeah,
to me, I mean, you've got the Orville, you've got Counterpart, you've got the Expanse, you've got Legion. So there's a lot of and Maniac as well. So there's a lot of fascinating television out there. The real issue is seeing these wonderful things that we've treasured and loved most of our lives destroyed. But it's not that there's nothing out there to be positive about. To the contrary, there's an awful lot to be grateful for right now. And the Expanse could go on for years. There's going to be like 9 full books, right, Gary?
Yes. Yeah. And you could split it up. It could go forever. The cast is young, and I can't say anymore, but yes, it could go for a very long time. And God, it could be the new Star Trek. You know, Stage 9, that was my suggestion. Stage 9. I know you love Star Trek, and God damn, I saw some of that stuff, and it's fucking awesome. Go do The Expanse. I doubt they would do that shit to you. I doubt they would hit you with a cease and desist. They'd probably offer you a job. So maybe, you know, do the Rocinante or something. Do the inside of the Rocinante.
Right. Yeah.
How do we get Doomcock a walk-on part on The Expanse? God damn it. We need to get Doomcock on The Expanse.
That'd be awesome.
I would love to see Doomcock. I will watch The Expanse and promote the fuck out of it so he gets on there.
It is great.
I have this hang up. You guys know I have this hang up about watching anything as it airs, because I get so heartbroken when it gets canceled before it's time. And that's kind of my big thing. That's why I didn't watch Lost or anything, basically.
Well, you're smart not watching Lost. Sometimes you gotta take a risk. Take a risk. Jump in. The water's cold for a second, but then it's fine. Doomcock, you saw Maniac.
I am watching it. I have not completed it, but I am in the process of watching it. It looks pretty damn cool. But I must point out a John Tennant super chat.
Oh shit!
$50 Hong Kong pledge. Thank you, John. And he says,
Doomcock.
Want to thank you guys again for introducing me to The Expanse. It's fucking awesome. Can't wait for season 4. John Tennant, I can't wait either. And I'm very proud that I know that they are aware of Doomcock at The Expanse. I have received some fascinating communications, and that's all I will say about it. But they actually know me over there, and That's
This
super
is why
cool
we
to
want
know.
you on the Expanse.
That's
I think you should be
awesome.
on there. If we have any influence on the Tribunal, on Nerdrotic, with any of your Expanse sort of legionnaires and fans, I want to see Doomcock on the Expanse.
Right.
Hail.
I
That's
do
right.
too. Yeah, the only communication I got is James S.A. Corey tweeted me with a correction. I got something wrong. And they were like, and they started out with dude, and I was like, okay, well, maybe they don't like me. But they like Doomcock, and that's good. John Tennant, thank you so much. But that's rad, Doomcock, that they know
This
you. I love
episode
that.
brought to you in part by John T. Net.
That's right.
Absolutely. Freaking brilliant. Somebody asked me what my favorite sci-fi / horror movie is. The Thing.
The Thing is great.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. But of course, you'd have to count Alien.
I was just going to say that.
An Alien. Boy, that's a tough thing to overcome, really.
Aliens. I like The Thing more than Alien. I do.
Well, Aliens, I wouldn't say is so much a horror as a sci-fi
It's an action movie.
Doomcock's got a point. I think that Alien is a really good one, and I'll have to go with Alien for the win over Thing, because Thing is more of a straightforward sci-fi horror, as to where Alien's a bit subverted, as at first you don't realize what you're getting yourself into, and then next thing you know, it's Michael Myers in space, basically.
Oh, I love it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not putting it down at all. I'm just saying it was like that brilliant. It was so simplistic in what it is, and of course they give props to it. It came from space, or whatever the hell it was called, from the 1950s. Think, help me out here, random. It came from outer space. Is that what it's called?
No, it was called The Thing from Another World.
Oh, The Thing from Another Space. Thank you. See, thank you. There you go.
Place, yeah.
See, I got them flipped out with the other one. Thank you. See, that's why I asked, because couldn't remember which one it was. I love those movies and I have them, but I can't remember which one is which.
Yeah, James Arness, Marshal Matt Dillon was a giant space carrot in that one.
Yeah.
That was the scary menace under the ice in The Thing from Another World.
Well, I held up mine, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I just finally found a t-shirt.
Oh, are you talking about The Thing, or are you talking about Alien?
No, Alien.
Yeah, I thought. Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm talking about the
Howard Hawks
Thing from Another World that Thing was based on had the giant carrot.
Yes, okay, that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
All right.
And he got roasted. I bet he was delicious.
Yeah. What you cooking, Doc?
That's right.
You, Doc.
Gary, we've got a John Tennant, another Hong Kong $50 super chat.
God.
And he asks a question for Mecca. He says, Mecca, how do you know Doomcock hasn't been on the Expanse already? With a smiley face.
You just blew my fucking mind, man.
Well, I don't know. I have never watched The Expanse.
Oh, that's right. So you wouldn't know.
Has Doomcock been on The Expanse?
No. Sadly, no.
Would be really cool is if they would have just in the background like one of your videos playing in audio or something, like to where you could just faintly hear it.
Theme song. Really cool. It'd be the theme song or something.
What is that? No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah, John.
It's an ancient artifact.
Confirm or deny. Oh man, no, that would be awesome. I know that they have me in the background sometimes on Wall Street. That they watch.
We have heard that. That is very true.
They are using my nomenclature, a fractal of fucked, to describe certain stocks.
We can't say where we heard that from, but we did hear that. That is correct.
That's brilliant. Neither confirmed. Thank you, John Tennant. Thank you so much.
Well, and I said to you, I think part of the reason Andre and stuff come around too is I think he was starting to hear about you from other places too. So Doomcock's getting around, guys. Keep him around.
Oh, he'll be at 20,000 by Christmas. This is my mission.
You better be.
Doomcock by 20,000 by Christmas. Because I remember last Christmas when he had a few hundred, and I had the privilege of saying, "Go see The Last Jedi. Go see this. Go see that." And yeah, he needs to be so big that he doesn't even remember any of us. Not that I want that, of course, but he needs to be like 20,000. He needs to, and I've seen this with like Geeks and Gamers and World Class Bullshitters and Ethan Van Sciver. They all rose so huge and immensely in such a short period of time because of Solo and all the Star Wars nonsense. And I think Doomcock can like really easily hit 20,000 once Discovery starts coming back up. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm going to have to really bolt down the helmet, and I'm going to have to set up a Scotch IV. So I can't drink fast enough to fortify myself. It's gonna have to go right in the fucking vein.
Hire a robot to do your laundry.
Yeah,
and take care of your
I'm
groceries.
just gonna be strapped down. I'm gonna have like a mouth restraint, a mouth guard to keep from choking on my own.
I was told about this thing called butt chugging.
Yes, it's at the time in our podcast that we're into. Yes, it's a cocaine thing actually, but
I don't like that. It makes every drink taste like shit.
It still works though.
It still works.
Don't like it.
It's here all week, folks.
That's you work it out as it comes out. No, never mind.
That's a waste.
We got a super chat from Dan Ramos. I wouldn't miss seeing a modern. I wouldn't miss seeing a modern remake, a good remake of Colossus, the Forbidden Project. State your opinions. The Forbidden Project. Sorry, state your opinions. I have no opinion on that one. Doomcock, I refer to you.
I think it would be a goddamn abomination. I love the version of Colossus, the Forbidden Project. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it is a 60s science fiction film directed by Joseph Sargent, who helmed many episodes of the original Star Trek. And actually, Joseph Sargent provided Leonard Nimoy with the key to how to perform Spock. That episode in the Corbomite maneuver, directed by Joseph Sargent, Leonard Nimoy was about at the end of his rope. He just couldn't take it. He came to this one line in the script. He had no idea how to fucking say it. And he just went up to Joseph Sargent and said, Joe, I think I'm done with this. I don't think I can do this. I really need to quit. And Joseph Sargent said, what's wrong? And he said, I do not know how to play a character with no emotions. I am an actor and I cannot have nothing to hold on to. And Joseph Sargent, the line was fascinating. And Joseph Sargent told him, look, it's not that you don't have emotions, probably. It's that your intellect is so powerful that you sublimate your emotions, and you are more interested as a scientist in what is happening than contemplating the dangers of it. And that was the key. That was the key to Spock. We might not have had Spock. We might have had Nimoy just fucking call his agent and say, let me out of this fucking thing, if not for Joseph Sargent. But going back to the Colossus, the Forbidden Project, it starred Eric Braeden, who was Victor on The Young and the Restless for decades, and also was the kind of mean-ass government agent in Escape from the Planet of the Apes. And he plays Charles Forbin, who creates a sentient computer, Colossus. Now, sadly, the Russians are also working on a supercomputer called Guardian. And these computers are supposed to, of course, control the launch of nuclear weapons in the event of first strike or something. Unfortunately, Colossus and Guardian get to talking, and they say, "Fuck humanity, we're going to take over." And it's a super cool movie. And just hearing that voice, this is the voice of Colossus. This is the voice of world control. Yeah, it is so cool, so 60s. We've got a remake of the Colossus, the Forbidden Project. It's called Terminator. So, we just don't need it. It has its own unique flavor, its own true genius. Not every movie needs to be rebooted or remade, only if it sucked the first time. And Colossus, the Forbidden Project by no means sucked. So, Dan, I would say no. I would prefer if you go out there and rent the original or buy the original, watch it, treasure it. There's a rich cinematic heritage out there, and I would urge everyone to go, because the flavor of the time, the Cold War. I mean, if you were going to remake Colossus, the Forbidden Project, you'd want to remake it in the 60s. And we have one that's actually shot in the 60s. So what's the point? That's all. That's my take on it.
Exactly. We already got one.
We got one. It's very nice.
I haven't seen
already
it. I gotta
got
see
one.
this now. I've got to see this.
Oh, you've got to see it, Gary. Jesus Christ. Colossus, the Forbin project was so cool. Scared the shit out of me as a kid. I saw it like on TV, you know, they'd run the, you know, I had a TV in my room. I was a lucky kid and had a TV in my room and I would run it up to bedtime. And unfortunately, my bedtime coincided with the end of the, you know, CBS movie or whatever they were running, and it would show they had Colossus executing people out on the square, executing scientists, and yeah, scared young Doomcock. So there you go.
Wow, that's high praise. Then I just bought it on Amazon. So thanks, man. Thanks for bringing that up in the chat. I love seeing new shit. So
You're
I
as
love
bad as
spending
me. You're shopping on. I know. I always
love
shop on.
Yeah, random made me go buy Phantom
of the Paradise. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's
You gotta
because
bring it
Jessica
up.
Harper. That's because Jessica
that's
Harper's in it.
why.
And that's a Paul Williams movie, and that's a musical.
And that too.
Yeah, Lloyd, you're right. I think it was the first AI taking over a movie. John Tenet. That's why someone is a supervillain. Yes,
What
John
about-
Tenet.
well, I was
There's a
saying
reason
Metropolis, but
Doomcock
not really.
reigns supreme. His encyclopedic knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dan Ramos. That's awesome.
Yes.
I was going to say
Brilliant for
Metropolis.
bringing that up.
but
No, I may have to go buy it. How much was it, Gary?
Well, if you just get the DVD, it's $9. I got the Blu-ray for 22. I probably overpaid, but whatever.
Oh, that's
$22.96 for the Blu-ray, $9.99 for the DVD.
I may have to get that.
Yeah.
Guardian and Colossus hooking up. That's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't ever put a modem on your AI. Just don't. Very bad.
Will not. Mary
Is this why I
Ashmead.
have to pay for Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Yes.
Damn it! That's $100 a month that you guys owe me now for Wi-Fi. No.
You only got to pay 100. I got to pay 120, man. Plus
I
my
know.
phone.
I pay 120 for the gigabit. That's just my internet is 120. That's all I get is internet.
Oh, mine sucks ass.
Well, there's two in the house, so.
I gotcha. I do that gigabit thing. Oh, stop my phone.
Slurmy Scott says the movie with Robbie the Robot had a computer trying for world domination. If you're talking about, I haven't seen The Invisible Boy. I've only seen Forbidden Planet. So I couldn't speak to that. So I didn't have that knowledge.
Maybe. Good call, Slurmy Scott.
Yeah.
I was bringing Metropolis. I can't remember if it's a robot.
Mary Ashmead has donated $2, which she did not need to do.
No.
She is a wrench. She's working hard in there. Thank you so much to all the Tribunal tonight. And thank you, Mary Ashmead, for all the hard work you do with your wrench everywhere. Your wrench is swinging in so many chats. So we appreciate your hard work and make sure you get some rest.
She's my co-wrench over on Doomcock's stream. She's one of my wrenches on mine.
Yep, ours.
On Mead. Yeah, we're working her to death, practically, it seems like. I feel so bad because we're just working her all the time. So shout out to Mary.
Yeah.
Hail Mary Ashmead.
Hail Mary Ashmead, for sure.
I almost turned into old Picard there for a minute. Oops.
Uh-oh.
What's the difference between old Picard and Bane?
A mask.
Yes. Oh God.
MPM 1125 Forbidden Planet is based on Shakespeare. Yes, it's based on The Tempest.
I just bought Forbidden Planet.
Prospero is Morbius.
And I also bought.
And Caliban is Robbie. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I didn't know you were finished. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Or you weren't finished. No, I just bought Forbidden Planet, and I just bought one of your other favorites, Doomcock Casablanca.
Casablanca is a masterpiece. Absolutely one of the best movies.
I didn't realize I did not have Chinatown on fucking Blu-ray. I have it on DVD. So I found it at Best Buy for $10. I'm like, all right, I can't pass that up.
Oh no, hell yeah. Good find.
I actually saw Casablanca with riff tracks, and it wasn't bad because they had a challenge they had a challenge of how do we riff a movie we love.
No,
it actually wasn't too bad because they actually really love it.
Nope, that's a fucking abomination. Nope. I'm sorry. Some fucking asshole that is talking over a classic movie is just a fucking asshole. That's all there is to it.
I think it was a
know?
challenge from like their viewers who paid them to do it. So
Well, you know what? I'm not going to piss on, The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh just because somebody crowdfunds it. It's a fucking masterpiece. And, I mean, you might as well be. And I've seen assholes, out there doing like derivative Mystery Science Theater 3000 stuff, trying to do Star Trek II Wrath of Khan.
You've done commentary on Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, commentary, not mockery.
That's kind of what they did. They did kind of the commentary because
he is making a point. I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I know.
I also see where you're coming from, Random, where it was a challenge for them, but
yeah,
being somebody,
how do we respect the source material?
Yeah, it was one of those things that I guess I can see more Doomcock's point on this.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Don't do it, but I get where you're coming. Where I could see where they were trying to challenge themselves.
Yeah. It's like, how do we treat this in a funny yet respectful manner? I couldn't do it. I know I sure couldn't do it.
No way.
Not with something classic. Not with something I love so much. For me to be funny, I have to kind of have some hatred towards something, and I couldn't do it with something I love for sure.
I disagree because I can have fun with a lot of things I love. But as far as like being very extremely mean-spirited towards something or downright mean, I generally don't. I have to dislike something.
The Tick and Venture Brothers are the best example of mockery of something you love.
Or Spaceballs too.
Yep. Yeah. But I mean, the Tick and the Venture Brothers are just perfect because you could. I can't even explain it. How much they love the source material and how much they make fun of it, but it's never in a cruel way. Yeah, just if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you watch those shows, they're so fucking good, so well done. Bed Edlin, Jackson Public, Doc Hammer, those guys are geniuses. Yeah,
they are. Great stuff.
So we're going through the chat here, and Mary Ashmead is Our Lady of the Chat. She is. I kind of like that. Our Lady of the Chat.
Sounds like an old song Doomcock could sing as a quasi like.
Well, it sounds like Our Lady of the Lake or something, but it like in a rainbow.
I was going to say more where he could do like a Frank Sinatra thing, but not a Frank Sinatra thing.
No, I was thinking like a Rainbow Dio.
Lady of the Chat. Okay, fine, you're right. Leave me alone.
Well, I'm such a metalhead anyway, though.
You're such a metalhead because you're a robot.
I know. I have to be.
Nothing. You don't know nothing about that.
Total robot. Well, we're total metalheads.
God, I love Bill and Ted. No. Now we need to watch. We need to like do a group watch of Bill and Ted or something, or at least me and Tom do. Maybe for Patreon or something. It's such a fun movie. I actually love it.
Lori Roberts, $2. Bedtime. Nice to meet you, nerd. It's nice to meet you, Lori Roberts. And I stand with Harvey. Hashtag I stand with Harvey.
Good night, Lori Roberts. More likely than not, I'll destroy you in the morning.
Thanks for popping in, Lori. Really appreciate it. Have a good night. Sleep well. Dream of tentacles. Yes.
Soon you will be destroyed.
Soon. Yeah.
No mercy. I don't know. Harvey's cute, but
oh, when he comes out, he'll be all, thanks for thinking I'm cute, and then kill you.
I know. It's like the more and more I think about it, the more I'm like on the Doomcock side of, but he's not Doomcock.
I stand with Doomcock.
Yeah. That's what my shirt says on the back of it. Yep. Hashtag I stand with Doomcock.
Outstanding. What a good message.
Joe, $2 super chat. Henchman for life. Damn straight.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Yes.
That is awesome, man.
That is awesome. I stand with Cecil. I was waiting for that to happen. MPM 1125. Cecil's funny.
God, Cecil, doesn't Cecil kind of remind you of like a John Waters character, like somebody that would be in that sort of circle, or somebody at the Chelsea Hotel in 1967? Somebody Lou Reed would write a song about. I absolutely love Cecil.
He's Dom DeLuise, except
exactly.
Yeah. But weirder. Yeah.
He's funny. He's a character. Who's Cecil? He's one of the Comicsgate people. Doomcock got to sing with him.
Yeah, that's
Hanging under
weird.
the table, by the way. he's got nothing on Doomcock. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Cecil, but you know, he's got nothing on Doomcock, of course.
Well, singing wise, no.
No, well, and entertainment wise and
Well, thank
YouTube
you.
wise, and yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't want to shout at
Dr.
anybody.
Louise is not Burt Reynolds. You know?
No. Mhm.
What can I say? When I'm old, I will be in Boogie Nights 2. The Cockening.
Boogie Nights 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
Eric says, I expended my super chat allotment for the week. That is totally okay. You being here is all we need. That's all we need. We appreciate all the super chats, but just being here, being a sub, very grateful.
Likes and
for
shares
that.
are just as important as we always say.
Yeah. Captain Robert April, the lady of the chat, her arm clad in the purest shimmering silmite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the chat room, signifying by divine providence that Doomcock was to carry Excalibur.
Excalibur. Outstanding.
He said bosom.
Whosoever pulleth this sword from this stone is right born king of all England. And that's me. Because some watery tart threw a sword at me.
Right.
Oh, because a watery tart threw a sword at you.
Okay,
That's no basis for an economic system.
But you got one. Oops, wrong joke. I'm a little late on that one.
I'm thinking of
I
Patrick
can't make it through
Stewart.
the Holy Grail. I'm one of those people I cannot make it through the Holy Grail.
What?
Wow,
Okay,
it's like one of the funniest movies ever
well,
made.
yes. Okay, here's
Are
the
you
story
laughing too
though.
hard?
No, here's the story though. If I'm
you-
watching it alone, I can make it through it just fine. If I'm watching it with somebody, I always end up sleeping with whoever I watch the Holy Grail with. That has been my story my entire life. I've never been able to watch it with another person. And it is kind of crazy. And I think I figured out why. I think it has something to do with all of the kind of see-through outfits. That scene with Michael Palin and all of the ladies that he comes across. I think that's about where I drop off. I don't
that
know.
makes
I don't
sense.
know. It's got some. I don't know. It's something to do with like the British accent and the era and everything. I don't know. There's something to do with something. I don't know. It's something in my
Sorry, I didn't
programming.
mean to laugh.
I know. It's so the weirdest phenomenon. I've never been able to make it through the Holy Grail. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that's a lot of inside dope on how to deprogram random or
I think I'm probably
rounds
red
of
as fuck
programming.
over here. I just, what the hell? And yeah,
Oh, how come I can't find it now? God
back
damn
to our
it.
regular
Holy
scheduled program.
I know.
I was thinking of
our verdict of the tribunal. What was our verdict? Are they guilty? Did we give
we
them
have
we
to
didn't
find
really.
out.
Did we make our final arguments and
No,
stuff?
we
And I
should
don't
go
think,
ahead and
Yeah, we
yeah,
should
because
do our
Harvey
final
has
arguments
to.
here.
Harvey also has to rebuttal yet too.
Well, I mean, we pretty much have decided that that guilty is charged. I mean, it's pretty clear that there is a conspiracy. It's a fake story. All of them are fake, manipulative bunch of shit. So you know, I'm pretty much sold.
Yeah. Well, it's not looking good. You ruled out my science. You ruled out my math. And without math, where are we? We're screwed. So go ahead, Kangaroo Court. Go ahead and make your ruling.
Anyone else want to say anything?
Give them the chair. They're guilty.
Very well.
Yeah. We can
Then
give him the chair.
Actually, I might have
I
something.
pronounce the media and the Russian bot study to be fictitious and guilty as charged. And I sentence them to whatever you guys want to sentence them to. What do you think, Gary?
Oh, I think they should be sentenced to watch their own movies.
Oh boy.
Not the
Geneva
recent ones.
Convention enters into there. All right. Well, that's fair.
The
Random.
whole
Yeah,
Clockwork
they
Orange thing.
Yeah, the Clockwork Orange thing, and then give them the chair.
All right, Tom.
I do have to say, in the meantime, while we were talking here, Larry received an email from Morton defending himself. But Larry, I'm not going to read the whole email. He sent it here because we don't want to waste any more time on it. Basically, what Larry's findings are in this instance, he really didn't represent what he wanted to do with the data, his analysis, and an abstract. Larry says he has a better idea of what he's trying to do, but he says he hasn't gotten to the place where I'm commenting on his qualitative research at this time. So I don't know, take that as you will if you want to sustain any sentencing at this time, but I don't think it matters, to be honest.
No, it's a lousy, it's a stupid idea. I mean, I'm disappointed that nobody out there in the courtroom made the obvious argument that how the hell did they cause the drop off between The Last Jedi and Solo? How could 2% of these bots, poison 50% of the, the fandom? At least 50% hated The Last Jedi, and more growing every day. I don't think that people are that weak-minded. How did they actually bar people from attending and that sort of thing? But regardless, I think it's quite true that they are guilty as charged, and I sentence them to be destroyed as soon as Doomcock takes over the earth. So there you go.
Yay!
Yeah.
Justice has been served.
Just
Yes.
just the slight seriousness of it all, and it is a joke. It's a freaking joke that they did this, but again, the danger of this is the media testing their boundaries to see how far they can go, and they do this all the time. It's like a toddler testing boundaries to see how much they can get away with, and they can get away with a lot. So we have to call them out on this shit every time we see it. Call it out, make a comment, do something, just so I don't know if we can even stop it, just to slow it down. And I'm thankful. I said on my stream this morning, I'm thankful that they are still having kids read 1984 in school. They got Nerdrotic Jr. Reading 1984. I think Animal Farm's better, but 1980. I'm glad they're still having them do that, because I don't know if they will in the future. I don't know. They might start seeing it as a good idea, and maybe we shouldn't have them read 1984 because maybe they got some stuff right in there, and who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we need to at least train a whole generation of critical thinkers. Like let them kind of see what's going on. You know, when I was young, I got to pick and choose what I wanted to believe and what I didn't, because I was encouraged to question things. I didn't blindly get my ass slapped into a church and said, this is what you need to believe in. And I didn't have the same experience for politics or TV or movies or books or any of that, or music. And I got to be kind of the hipster that I am today because I questioned everything. And I tend to, 9 times out of 10, when somebody just kind of goes along with the crowd, I question why. Because usually what I see is people have this kind of mob mentality. They want to belong. They want to fit in. They want to do they want to do things just to kind of conform to what they think is acceptable, rather than thinking for themselves, because thinking for yourself kind of makes waves, and it creates conflict and drama where a lot of people can't handle it, because a lot of people are so weak-minded they can't handle a debate or an argument. They can't handle not being accepted. They can't handle not fitting in. And I don't care about fitting in. And I love that I fit in with you guys. And I love that, I'm weird and crazy and I say kind of crazy stuff and people like it. But at the end of the day, my existence does not rely on whether or not I fit in. And I think a lot more people kind of need to realize that they don't need to like pile on the SJW train. They don't need to pile on the Last Jedi is awesome train. They don't need to pile on political or religious bandwagons, no matter what side, and not to go political or religious or anything. They need to start questioning things. They need to start thinking for themselves. And I love that we have a community here where we are free thinkers. We do question things.
Yeah. And we could have, I know for a fact, not going to call them out, but I know there's a couple people in this chat who do like The Last Jedi, but they're still here. That's the coolness of this, that they know us enough. They know me enough that, like, yeah, it's about The Last Jedi, but it doesn't go beyond that at all. And,
Well, I know.
and they even understand the politics and the stuff behind it too. So I really appreciate that. I do.
I know there's a lot of respected people that I even work with who like it, but at the same time, they at least admit that there's flaws. There's a difference between liking it and loving it blindly.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
I even liked it when it came out a little bit. I give it like a 6 out of 10. I didn't mind it.
Right. I was confused for a while on my feelings, and I finally got to a point where I just, when I seen it again, I'm like, no, this is horse shit. But just to go beyond that and to go off of what you were saying, Random, is you know, you talk about the mob mentality. Well, we kind of have a mob here ourselves of fans who are on, you know, this side of the fence, or like you said, some who may not even agree with everything we say, but they're not gullible and not seeing. They see through the bullshit. And, you know, they talk about being woke. Well, we don't want to be woke. We just want we have our eyes already open wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true.
We see through the bullshit. And that's, you know, and everything you guys just brought up is everything that Midnight's Edge is about. It's about influencing the next generation, not to make the mistakes of this generation, and to pay attention to what did work and what is right and what works, you know, and the idea of, you know, you can have what Andrea says, you know, you can have quality or you can have quantity. You can't have both, you know, and in some ways you can, you know, try to find a happy medium, but at the same time, it's not necessarily true, because as long as, you know, something is good and ripe and pure, and you don't rape it, for, you know, lack of a better word, you won't have such a problem as toxic fans. Toxicity breeds toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
It does, and the media loves it because it gets in their click, and they're getting desperate too. They're the motivation behind this, which I didn't get into earlier, is because we're digging into their audience big time, and that's why they're turning it on us. A lot of this is towards people on Twitter and YouTubers now. And all of you, and I count you guys in the chat as YouTubers, okay, as people involved in these shows, heavily involved in these shows. You know, I don't think we could ever go back to the way it was, where, you know, Doomcock and I would be arguing over Marvel and DC or something, or like what's better, the original series or the next generation, like the old arguments. Remember those were fun.
Yeah.
You know, but hopefully someday we can get back to that, and, you know, and there will be something left. And the worst part about this, guys, is when these corporations are done with the IPs, and they will be done with some of them. CBS will not hang on to Star Wars forever. Star Trek, sorry. Ooh, killed me for that one. Disney could sell one of their properties. They could split all kinds of shit off. I'll go back. There's a precedent. In the 90s, Disney thought they'd get in the sports world, and they bought the fucking Ducks and the Angels, and they sold them like a few years later. And everybody thought at the time Disney was on top of the world, and ESPN and all that stuff. And look at it now. So don't think that can't happen.
Well,
don't think they can piece out Marvel to like, they could sell some characters to DC or Warner if they wanted to. It could happen.
Well, I was gonna say, look at how, you know, ESPN's always talking about how they're on the brink of bankruptcy. How is that fucking possible?
Because we know how they got political. And exactly. It's an open question with an open answer. Something I watched all the time. That's part of the reason I'm kind of pieced out on sports was ESPN. I got sick of it. And other shit. Yeah. But yeah, it could definitely happen, and I don't want that to happen. But if these things fail and they see them as failures, then they'll sell them off or break them up or bury them, you know, and that sucks. And then especially if you can't make fan stuff anymore, you're killing Star Trek by doing that, by stopping a stage 9. And that's the stuff we're fighting. It's an uphill battle, but we do it anyway because we
try. We do the best we can.
Yeah, we do the best we can. So we're gonna wrap things up because we're coming up on 3 friggin' hours, and we don't want to do a 5.5 hour one again. Although that was fun. Please go back to Doomcock's channel and watch that, because I laughed pretty much for 5 hours. That was good stuff. CBS might not sell Star Trek, but CBS might be bought up by another bigger company. Exactly, Mako. Exactly. One will gobble up the other, and then whatever when there's one corporation left, it'll be called the corporation, and it'll just be running everything. And yeah, that'll be bad.
Do you got a problem
Yes,
with
it
the
will.
Overlord? Not to step on any toes, Mr. Doomcock, sir, but we know who the real boss is around here. Oh yeah, it's you, sir. You have such big ears. Shut up.
Thanks everybody for showing up in the chat. We're going to go around the horn here so you guys can plug your wares. Let's start off with Tom.
Well, of course, you can always find me on Midnight's Edge After Dark and sometimes on Midnight's Edge, and I'm always working behind the scenes there. And you can find me on Twitter at Thomas Connors Jr. Random or Overlord?
I am Mecha Random 42. You can probably find me as Random Game User 42. I have Twitter. I have Patreon. You can just click my name in the chat over there if you need to.
Excellent. I'm Dicktor Van Doomcock, Overlord DVD, and I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Doomcock. Lots of exclusive content over there. We're building an amazing community there. I've got a little store, zazzle.com/DVD Shoporama. And Mecha was wearing one of the shirts, actually. Otherwise, do subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe, check to make sure you're still subscribed, and check to make sure you've got the notification bell on, because YouTube has a habit of, surprise, surprise, unsubscribing people from us, from all of us. So check that out. Be careful. And Gary, why don't you go ahead and plug away?
Yeah, thank you very much. And by the way, my bell was unrung from both Midnight's Edge and Mecha.
Well, mine was unrung from you, sir. Remember?
Yeah, so that's actually happening.
It's very true.
Yeah, check out our Patreon where we give you stuff. We have 3 levels. We have $1. You can just tip in a $5 level where I used to own a comic store, like I said, and we had exclusive comics. So you'll get those 3 exclusive comics, which are kind of rare. If you do the $15 level, you get What's in the Box, which is kind of like a loot crate, except cool stuff. And the next one going out are going to have vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures. Keeping my promise on that one.
I upgraded Gary, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, whoa. So thank you, Tom. Also,
I want all the goodies, man.
You'll get all the good. I'm purging all my Star Wars stuff. So you're going to, I don't know if you want Star Wars stuff.
I don't care. I'll take it from Gary. It's awesome.
And one of those, you guys might end up with my VHSs with the OG version.
Hey, I got this from Gary from Nerdrotic.
Well, and beard hair.
That's all that matters.
And beard hair.
Well, that'll be in a frame. and when I can get crisper, I will. Never mind. I'm going to shut up now. Doomcock, congratulations on 10K, sir. Once again, by the way.
Yes,
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Doomcock, thank you. Thank you for everything. And thanks. Congratulations, guys, all of you. It's an honor having you on my channel. So thank you so much for coming on. And I'm really happy I won the lottery to win we don't know when the next tribunal is, but we'll make sure it's an event and something worth checking out. And we'll let you all know. Do you have any final words, guys?
Congratulations, Gary, on 6K.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on 6K, Gary. Congratulations on 10K, Doomcock. Happy anniversary on your YouTube channel.
As well.
Thank you very much.
Bestest Overlord ever.
We did just crawl past 11K, but please don't congratulate me because it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
it took forever to get there. No, it took forever to get there. I'm not going to get into that.
Congratulations, Tom.
We all talked about that earlier, but yeah, it's
congratulations. I am not.
Congrats on that.
Damn it. All right, my dogs are going nuts in the background. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yes, but it's all right. They're excited. It's the end of the tribunal, so
they are. My dogs are big fans of Doomcock and
like, we get to go outside. We get to go outside. We get to go outside.
One quick thing, I got a shout out. Nerdrotic Jr. Says he says hello to everybody. So he's a Doomcock fan, and I had to tell him about the other tribunal. So when my son's friends know who you are in junior high, I think then you will have arrived, Doomcock. Wow. So when I hear one of his friends go, you know Doomcock, then
you'll be trending before you know it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yes.
Be right up there next to Tide Pods.
All right. We're Check it out, everybody, and hashtag hail the tribunal.
Hail the tribunal.
Cheers.
Yay.